Ohio State. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Mutual of New York, money for the future, and by Sir Walter Raleigh, the quality pipe tobaccos of America. UCLA comes into the game undefeated, holding victories over Arizona State. Arizona and Air Force ranked second in the nation in the UPI poll, fourth in the AP. Ohio State opened with wins over Michigan State and Penn State, then lost a week ago to Missouri, so the Buckeyes, with a 2-1 mark, are ranked 8th in both polls. Hello, everybody. I'm Bill Fleming, welcoming you to this famous horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio, the Ohio Stadium. It's 54 years old this year, and during its 50 years of existence or more, 20 million fans have streamed in here to watch college football. That is more than the entire population of the state of New York. Well, last week, the fans saw one of the rare home defeats by the Buckeyes in a finish that was really almost unbelievable. Missouri scored in the last 12 seconds of the game to make it 21-20. And then the Tigers went for a two-point conversion. And here's what happened. Quarterback Pete Woods tosses a little pass. It is incomplete, overthrown. However, the Buckeyes were detected holding on the play. That brought Woody Hayes out onto the field. He claimed that Missouri was using an illegal block. He tried to demonstrate it to the officials, but to no avail. And so the penalty was imposed. The ball was half the distance to the goal line, and from 1.5 yards away, Pete Woods, the reserve quarterback, takes it in, falls across the goal line, and that was the two-point conversion that gave Missouri a 22-21 win over the Buckeyes, and of course knocked Ohio State out of their number 2 ranking into 8th in the nation. Well, this week naturally has been a rather rugged week as far as Ohio State is concerned. They have had a long workout in terms of time on the practice field, but it's been particularly difficult because of the injury problem. Let's just take a look at some of the problems they've had. Now, these are the men who are going to see some action, the first 3. Their action is going to be limited today, and you can see they're key people. And Bruce Rule, defensive back, will not play at all, and his replacement, Mike Guess, is a freshman. There are several other injuries to the defensive secondary that has weakened Ohio State considerably, and so we look for UCLA to exploit the forward pass today. Now, UCLA has had some problems of their own this week. Theodis Brown has a hip pointer. He will see limited action today. Wendell Tyler will not be 100%, and of course, nose guard Steve Tetrick is out of action. Well, in a moment, Jim Lampley will be back to talk a little bit more in detail about the Bruins of UCLA.
George and I fell in love with this place on a day just like this one. The cabin was run down and the roof leaked, but that didn't matter. And even though we couldn't put much money into it, we put in a lot of hard work. George fixed the roof, and I snooped around the auctions looking for furniture to refinish. We only came up on weekends, but to us it was home. I never thought we'd give it up.
Hello, I'm Jim Lampley. Bruin publicists are calling this year's UCLA offense one of the most potent ever. But as Bill Fleming has already told you, the entire operation is in doubt today because of injuries to running backs Wendell Tyler and Theodis Brown. Tyler, when healthy, is the most effective running back per play in Pac-8 history. He's averaging more than 6 yards per carry for his career. If he continues at his present pace, he'll move ahead of O.J. Simpson and into second place all-time in Pac-8 rushing behind Anthony Davis. Theodis Brown, rapidly becoming more famous for his size 15 Triple E feet than his running ability, has given the Bruins a consistent inside running threat this year. He's already gained more than 280 yards. But the man who's most effective in making the Bruin offense hard to stop is senior quarterback Jeff Dankworth. He waited 3 years behind John Shara, but this year Jeff Dankworth has emerged as one of the most effective running quarterbacks in college football. His presence on the option play makes the UCLA offense living proof that the well-executed option is still the most effective ground gainer in college football. Dankworth can really cut up inside, as he showed in his great opening game performance against Arizona State. And though he hasn't had to throw much this year, Jeff Dankworth has been effective through the air when forced to be. He's completed more than 60% of his passes. Great quick feet, a great leader, superb quarterback for the Bruins. One of the most important things about Dankworth's emergence is that it's taken the pressure off of Wendell Tyler. Tyler came out of last week's game against Air Force bruised and hobbled. He told me yesterday afternoon he's definitely not in top shape for this game. But Wendell Tyler is a great running back. He tore up the Bruins with his breakaway threat a year ago in the Rose Bowl, and his mere presence on the field will command the attention of the Ohio State defense. 2 years ago, Tyler was a chronic fumbler with an uncertain future in college football. Now he's one of the game's top stars and a self-proclaimed Heisman Trophy candidate. A year ago, Theodis Brown didn't play at all for the Bruins. Now he's the third star in a great backfield. He's a classic physical specimen, 6 feet 3 inches tall, 220 pounds. He was timed at 9'6" for the 100 in high school. Brown came out crunching inside against Arizona State in that opening game, and he hasn't stopped since. As a matter of fact, Theodis Brown represents the one major change in the UCLA offense since Rose Bowl day. That is, a consistent and effective threat to gain yardage up the middle. When you look at the UCLA defense, you're looking at a unit that's built on great quickness. None of these guys are very big, with the exception of 250-pound nose guard Bruce Davis, replacing a starter, Steve Tetrick, who's injured today. But all the other starters from that unit that you saw shutting off Arizona State in the opening game are healthy. The emergent leader of this defense is inside linebacker Jerry Robinson. A year ago, he was playing wide receiver. He was moved to inside linebacker in training for the Rose Bowl game. And all of a sudden, this fall, he's all over the field. He's made more than twice as many tackles as any other Bruin. Another player you'll be seeing a lot on isolated camera is Manu Tuiasosopo, the great Samoan. He'll be starting at tackle today. He has great strength and inside lateral mobility. And sometime during the ball game, you'll probably see Tuiasosopo at middle guard. We'll be back with more in just a minute. We'll be along in just a moment to talk to you about the Ohio State football team. But before that, we wanted to show you a little something of what life is like for people who go to school here in Columbus. As anybody knows who's been to college, a lot of education takes place outside the classroom. We went to some places around Columbus the other night, places where students were likely to be gathering in anticipation of this big football game, to get a little look at what student life is like in 1976. Is Thursday night part of, anticipation and excitement?
Yeah, Thursday nights, it's real exciting. Everyone's all excited about what's going to be over the weekend.
Is Thursday night before a football game here always this crazy?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, why?
People love football here. I'm from Virginia, but this is football country.
Dick, how much of your business has to do with football weekends and nights like this before a big football game?
We all love it. Ohio State is football.
Players get treated special in this town?
No. Just like people.
So important here?
I think football is an institution here. Woody Hayes, Pete Johnson, Cornelius Green, all the people of the past. When people come to Ohio State, they expect to see good football. That's one of the reasons why I came here.
Well, that's how some of the students spent their Thursday night prior to a big game in Columbus, Ohio. We hasten to add, however, that that is not how all of the students, or even the majority of them, spent their free hours this past week. Well, for the football team itself, there were no free hours. This has been one of the most intensive weeks of work that the Buckeyes have had all year long, or let's even put it in many, many seasons, because of the loss to Missouri last week, a game which Woody Hayes felt they should have won. The nagging question that Ohio State has is, can a team stay on top and keep winning without a passing attack? Consider this fact, that in 3 games, the Buckeyes have passed 13 times total. They have completed but 3, an average 1 a game. Can they keep it up? Can they have this awesome ground attack, keep their team winning? Well, they needed the passes last week, didn't get them. Rod Gerald is the quarterback this year, replacing Cornelius Green. There is no question about the fact that he's an outstanding runner. He handles the option well. He can take punishment. In fact, when the pressure is on, he can score, such as he did here against Penn State. But he does not have that passing threat. He has completed 18% of his passes so far as a varsity player. Now, to be sure, Ohio State has one of the greatest tailbacks in college football today, Jeff Logan. He's the replacement, you recall, of Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman winner. And Logan has surprised literally everybody with his brilliant speed outside. Coach Joe Paterno singled him out as the man who was responsible for the Ohio State victory over Penn State. He is a remarkable runner, and he's a remarkable young man. But can he, and the running of Gerald and the running of Pete Johnson, sustain the Buckeyes? Look at the move that he just made there. Extremely quick on his feet, and he does have power, and he too can take the punishment. Here he is on the option. Now, the third man that does do a lot of the running, and I'm not excluding Bill Harrell, but he has not been used very much this year. And that, of course, is the 248-pound fullback, Pete Johnson, who led the nation in scoring last year, who is the all-time career scoring leader of the Big Ten. 44 touchdowns to his credit. It should be pointed out, however, that even as effective as he was against Missouri, he did suffer 2 sprained ankles in the game last week against the Tigers. So that could cut down the effectiveness of Pete Johnson today in the middle of the line. That, coupled with the fact that Ohio State has not shown, as we mentioned, any kind of a passing attack, it makes one wonder if the Buckeyes are in trouble offensively. Now, defensively, they have one of the best teams that Woody Hayes feels that he's had in many a year. The defense is led by number 84, Bob Brudzinski. As tough a defensive end as you'll find. He had a total of 17 tackles last week. He has had 32 for the season. 15 of those have been solo tackles. Nick Bonamici, 242 pounds, a defensive left tackle, one of the very best in the business, a defensive captain. And as far as the kicking game is concerned, if it comes down to that, the Buckeyes have the very best in the land for the last 2 years. Tom Skladany, a 2-time All-American, certainly is the best in the Big Ten, if not in the nation. Woody Hayes hopes that it doesn't come down to a kicking difference today. We'll be back here in Columbus, Ohio in just a moment. The Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, the band coming off the field. From Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, Bill Fleming along with Keith Jackson, Harry Parsig, and Jim Lampley, inviting you to join us for the telecast of the Bruins against the Buckeyes.
Robert Redford and
rematch from the Rose Bowl, the Ohio State Buckeyes and the UCLA Bruins. On the campus of Ohio State University in Columbus, the setting for this 5th meeting between the Buckeyes and the UCLA Bruins. And this ABC Sports Exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet and Chevrolet dealers Chevrolet, by National Semiconductor digital watches and calculators, and by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. Oh, such a day in Columbus, Ohio, with the puffy clouds and a full stadium and a beautiful second day of October, and these 2 teams meeting for the 5th time. Last year, they split a pair of games, as you can see. Ohio State winning in the regular season in Los Angeles, but in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day, it was UCLA. So they're even at 2-2 in the 4 games played. This, in a sense, then, is the rubber match. We'll have a record crowd, we're quite sure, here this afternoon at Ohio Stadium. This stadium has been sold out for the last 47 consecutive games here. And this university pretty much led the nation in attendance for college football until Michigan started drawing successive crowds of 100,000. But there you can see the Olentangy River running just behind the stadium. The parking lots are filled. This community has been just literally alive, electric all week, anticipating this football game. And they have come from everywhere. So what we have now is really all of the traditional elements for a great afternoon of college football here in Columbus, Ohio. You can feel it, and you certainly can hear it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Keith Jackson. I'll be calling the play for you. And working with us as our expert commentator is the former head football coach at the University of Notre Dame, a man who has had a brilliant career, a man who has paid his dues and earned the right to get up on a Saturday morning comfortably, have coffee, read the paper, start the day. No. Ara Parsegian this morning at 7:30 is down in the lobby of the hotel drawing X's and O's. You're not coaching anymore.
I know it, Keith, but doggone it, I guess you can't take the stripes off of a zebra, and I had to get involved in that little X and an O with both ball clubs.
All right, now you've had a chance to visit, and we've talked about the intimidation factor a number of times. You come from a university where the crowd and the location and the setting and the atmosphere can be an intimidating thing. This has to apply here at Ohio as well.
The great crowds here at Ohio State, no question about it, but I don't think good football teams are intimidated, and I think what we're going to see is two good football teams this afternoon. UCLA has been under the gun. When you play in the Rose Bowl, you're not going to be intimidated coming over here to the Ohio State Stadium.
Right now, the UCLA Bruins, wearing the white shirts, are coming into the stadium, and they're getting the typical Ohio State reaction. UCLA, with 3 successive wins over Arizona State, Arizona, and Air Force, is a team that perhaps has not really been tested.
It's very true. This will be a real test for them, although we thought Arizona State had been picked in the top 20, and of course UCLA won that game very handily. But I think in this contest, after it's over, we're going to have a pretty good idea of how good UCLA is and whether or not Ohio State can rebound from their disappointing loss of last week, 22-21. You know, they're going to have a revenge motive, as they talked about it here in the last 2 or 3 days. But by the same token, Ohio State's got to come from behind a disappointing loss, which is 1 point. And it's much tougher, I think I've learned this as a coach, tougher to come from behind a disappointing loss than it is one that you've lost by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Of course, you do have the element of injury involved here, and that we've detailed in our pregame show with Bill Fleming and Jim Lampley, that Pete Johnson in particular is hobbling around on a couple of sore ankles.
I watched both teams very closely in the warm-up. Pete Johnson can go straight ahead very effectively, but I don't know that he can turn the corner well. I watched him. I think both Wendell Tyler and Theodis Brown are going to be able to go, although if Brown gets cracked on that hip pointer, he may leave early. Injuries will be a definite factor in this contest, and it may be backup people will determine the outcome.
Now, we saw Ohio State beat Penn State, a good football team, and we saw Ohio State, the film from their victory over Michigan State. They have won football games this year without any effective passing.
Very true. It's incredible that Ohio State has completed 1 pass per game. I talked to Woody Hayes yesterday, and he said that Gerald had dislocated a little finger on his throwing hand about a week and a half ago. He says it's much better now, so we'll watch in this game to see whether or not Woody puts the ball up in the air more. I think the key to this football game is whether or not UCLA can stop the running game of Ohio State. Then I think it'll neutralize their position, improve favorably UCLA's chances of winning this football game because they do have a good passing attack.
All right, now let's join Bill Fleming for the introduction of the players who start the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the players to be introduced for today's game. For the Bruins of UCLA, on defense, at left tackle, number 59 from San Jose, California, Pete Pele. Inside linebacker, number 86 from Berkeley, California, Raymond Bell. At nose guard, number 71 from Marbury, Maryland, Bruce Davis. Inside linebacker, number 84 from Santa Rosa, California, Jerry Robinson. Right tackle, number 40 from Long Beach, California, Manu Tuisasopo. Outside linebacker, number 87 from Gardena, California, Raymond Burks. Outside linebacker, number 41 from San Diego, California, Frank Stevens. Left cornerback, number 32 from San Francisco, California, Levi Armstrong. Right cornerback, number 2 from Oakland, California, Harold Hardin. At safety, number 21 from Riverside, California, Oscar Edwards. At safety, number 88 from Torrance, California, Pat Schmidt. On offense, at left halfback, number 22 from Los Angeles, Wendell Tyler. And the head coach of the Bruins, Terry Donahue. And now, here are the Buckeyes of Ohio State. On defense, at left end, number 84 from Fremont, Ohio, Bob Brudzinski. At left tackle, number 75 from Brentwood, New York, Nick Bonamici. At middle guard, number 55 from Warren, Ohio, Aaron Brown. At right tackle, number 67 from Cincinnati, Ohio, Eddie Beeman. At right end, number 32 from Warren, Ohio, Kelton Danzler. At linebacker, number 9, this is linebacker 36 from Fairview Park, Tom Cousineau. And number 9 from Waverly, Ed Thompson. Defensive left halfback, number 26 from Staten Island, New York, Tom Roach. Defensive right halfback, number 12 from Columbus, Ohio, Mike Guess. At safety, number 22 from West Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Joe Allegro. At safety, number 44 from Columbus, Ray Griffin. The kicking specialist, number 1 from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, Tom Skladany. And the head coach of the Buckeyes, Woody Hayes.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. And we're just about ready to get the ball in the air in what should be one of the top intersectional football games of 1976. The team captains in the center of the field with the referee, Gene Calhoun. They're the captains, Bob Crawford, Wally Henry, Greg Taylor for UCLA, Bill Lukens, Ed Thompson, Tom Skladany for Ohio State. Let's listen.
Help you get the crowd quiet so you get a fair opportunity to get the ball in play. As captains, you're also responsible for the conduct of your players. You take care of it. Shake hands. Good luck. We'll start right away.
And it is UCLA who won the toss. They elected to take the football. The wind is not a factor here in the old bowl that was built in 1922 at a cost just over $1 million. And it's one of the legendary football stadiums in this country. The rest of the officials are Frank Strosia, the umpire, Bob Dagenhart, the head linesman. The line judge is John Nealon. The field judge is Otto Poles. Both these teams, Ohio State and UCLA, have drawn a lot of flags during the course of this season. And now let's check the starting backfield for the UCLA Bruins. Jeff Dankworth, who's been brilliant, will start at quarterback. Wendell Tyler, number 22, at left halfback. It'll be Theodis Brown, number 27, at right halfback. And the flanker will be Wally Henry, number 8, a young man who really burned Ohio State in the Rose Bowl game last January 1. So we'll have a chance to see what the Bruins can do in the first offensive possession, as Wally Henry and Theodis Brown will be the two men who go deep to receive the kickoff from Tom Skladany of the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes in the home colors, wearing the crimson or the red. Everything around here, Ara Parsekian, is red on football day.
It really is. You know, and the other thing that's very noticeable, yesterday as we watched the Buckeyes warm up on their Friday routine practice, they didn't seem to be that emotionally aroused, but this afternoon, before this kickoff, they look like they're really ready to go.
And so are we. The ball is on the tee with Skladany waiting for the referee's call to kick it. Brown and Henry are deep, and the game is underway. It is kicked very high, and it goes to Henry in the end zone, and Wally will have nothing to do with it. So the Bruins take it first down at their own 28-yard line. Along the offensive front for the UCLA Bruins now. This is the way they will start the football game. James Sarpy, number 4 at the split end. Gus Coppins, Big Gus, number 70, tackle. Keith Eck at left guard, number 57. In the middle, it'll be Mitch Kahn, 62. On the right side, Greg Taylor, 79. The right tackle is Bob Kazarian. He's 78. And the tight end starting is Rick Walker, number 7. And here comes UCLA now in the white shirts up for the first play of the football game, as they send Henry way wide to the right side. Ball goes to Wendell Tyler, and Tyler, running against a 52 defense of Ohio State, gets about 1.5 yards, maybe 2. Defensively for Ohio State, this is the way they line up. Brudzinski at left side, defensive end. Bonamici, Aaron Brown in the middle, Eddie Beeman, 67, Kelton Danzler at the other defensive end. The linebackers Tom Cousineau, Ed Thompson, the secondary for Ohio State, Tom Roach, Mike Guess, Joe Allegro, and Ray Griffin. Mike Guess is a freshman replacing Bruce Rule, who is injured. Second down and 8 for UCLA. And Dankworth keeps the ball, gets it up for a couple of yards to about the 24 before he is gang tackled.
Very good support by Bruce Rule. The right corner man came up very rapidly to shut off that option to the short side of the field.
No, Rule's not in there. That's the youngster Guess who's replacing him.
Punt team! I want the punt team!
It is on the 24-yard line. Third down and 6 now for UCLA. So we'll see if the Bruins elect to put it up early. Dankworth gives the ball inside to Theodis Brown, who plunges for 2 yards to the 26. And now UCLA will have to punt as Ohio State controls the first offensive possession of the Bruins.
Nick Bonamici playing left defensive tackle, really put a good move on there to stop the play along with Beeman, who didn't play last week.
Coming in to punt will be Frank Corral for UCLA with Ray Griffin and Joe Allegro, the deep men. Corral, number 43. He has been inconsistent as a punter. He can hit it 60 and then turn right around and hit it 25. Gets a good one away this time. It pushes Ray Griffin all the way back to his 21-yard line. He gets one good block and almost busted out of there. He got a good block from Allegro and almost popped it. Ohio State gets the football. First down at their own 32-yard line. Rod Gerald will open at quarterback. Jeff Logan, 34, will be at tailback. The fullback will be Big Pete Johnson with sore ankles, both ankles. And the wingback will be number 11, Jim Harrell. UCLA now will come up and offer anything from a 4-man front all the way to an 8-man front. Here's Ohio State's first offensive possession. Ball goes inside, where Ohio State figures to keep it all day if they can just keep chunking away, getting 3 and 4 yards at a pop. On the offensive front now for Ohio State, it'll be Herman Jones, number 49 at the split end. Chris Ward, who's a man of a mountain-sized man. Jim Savoca at guard. Mark Lang is in the center, number 51. Bill Lukens at right guard. Right side, it's Lou Petrini. And the tight end, Greg Storer, number 80. It is second down. And let's call it 7 yards as Gerald comes down the line on the option, and he really gets a stick. Stepping in there and laying the leather on him was Raymond Burks, number 87. Defensively, UCLA, the 3 down men are Pete Pele. Bruce Davis is the man on the spot because he's replacing Tetrick, who is injured and out for a month. Manu Tuiasosopo is the other tackle, and he might go into that middle guard position with those linebackers behind him. They have a lot of help: Burks, Bell, Robinson, and Stevens. And the defensive secondary, Armstrong, Harden, Edwards, and Schmidt. It's one of the better secondaries in the country based on their previous history, and it's very experienced. It is third down and a long 6 for Ohio State at the 36. As Gerald puts it up over the middle, it is complete to Storer at midfield. So they said he couldn't pass, huh?
Well, I'll tell you, that'll be great confidence builder for him. To get off started with the first pass that he throws, he connects on. That'll really help him.
First down, Ohio State. The ball is just short of midfield. It is still in Buckeye territory. It's going to be interesting, too, to see how the UCLA Bruins will bounce around in their various defensive looks. Now they've got 4 or 5 men up front with a man outside playing the flanker. And they go inside with it, handing the ball away to Pete Johnson, number 33, the big fullback, and he's got about 3 yards before Jerry Robinson and Raymond Burks linebackers get him.
It was interesting that Ohio State switched from the veer formation to the I for that pass. They faked a reverse to Harrell coming around. And then, of course, Gerald kept that ball and threw the tight end Storer coming across.
Now it is number 11, Harrell, coming wide to the left as they line up with split backs behind Gerald. On second down and 7, Gerald coming down the line. And not much there for him. Again, it is Raymond Burks, number 87, who makes the stop for UCLA. Read the play very well.
Talking to the UCLA coaches, they decided that they would play the option against Ohio State with their ends taking the quarterback and expecting good reactions from their secondary, and thus far they've looked very good doing it. Here they are with another passing down. Let's see what happens.
The ball is at the 47 of UCLA, and they need 7 yards.
Coming back to that eye again, Keith.
And they split to the right side, put the flanker in the slot, and here's Gerald back to throw. Over the middle he goes, and the pass is incomplete. Wasn't a whole lot of pressure on him, actually. Pete Paley, number 59, had looped, tried to get around the blocking, and was evident, but Gerald threw the ball very high and missed his man. Of course, his man was very well covered.
Yes, he was. There was good coverage on that by UCLA. I don't think it had been very difficult to get that ball in.
So Ohio State fails to exercise field position in their first offensive possession, and now we have Tom Spladany in to do the punting, and he's a good one, as you can see, an average of 44 yards per kick.
This may be quite an offensive weapon here in Spladany.
Severn Reese and Mike Coulter are deep. Spladany hangs it up there. It will go into the end zone. It will be a touchback, and once again, in their second offensive possession, UCLA will get the ball first down at the 20. We have no score in the football game. The sun is warm and the weather is very kind and gentle for this fifth meeting between the UCLA Bruins and the Ohio State Buckeyes. And here's UCLA for the second offensive possession of the ball game. No score. It is Theodis Brown. About 219 pounds now, running right at Nick Bonamici and Aaron Brown. And he pops it for about 3, close to 4 yards. One of the classic battles will be taking place in the middle of the line today, I think, between Mitch Kahn, the center for the UCLA Bruins, number 62, and Aaron Brown, number 55, the middle guard for Ohio State. Two exceptional athletes. Though Brown has been hurt, he seems to be fit for the war he's going to have today. Second down and 6. Dankworth stands and throws for Walker. Rick Walker, the big tight end, 6'4", 220, a senior out of Santa Ana. 13 yards, first down, UCLA.
Keith, I think every coach that is in college football today will tell you that's one of the toughest passes to stop. When they fake to the dive back in there, and of course the defense has got to react to it, and particularly when you're in a zone, it's very difficult to cover.
And you better not give Walker much room, because he is a burner. He's about a 4, 6, 7 man at the 40 yards, and he's big and strong. Dankworth slides the line, gives to Brown. Theodis moving the football from the 38-yard line out close to the 45.
Good blocking by both Kazarian, the right tackle, and Walker, the tight end. They really walled off the inside. If Brown had kept his feet, he could have come out of there for much more yardage.
See, in 1975, that UCLA was able to penetrate the Ohio State defenses for 43 points, while the rest of the teams they played only totaled 59. Second down, 4. Brown again. And Theodis Brown gets to the 49-yard line. He'll be very close to a first down, might very well have it. Now let's spend a moment with Bill Fleming.
All right, the Notre Dame-Michigan State game is underway with 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. Dave Reeve kicked a field goal for the Irish, 47-yarder, and then Al Hunter scored a touchdown. So Notre Dame is out in front 10-0 with 4 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the first period.
All right, Bill, next Saturday on ABC Sports, oh, we've got a good one. Tell you more about it, but I'll tell you now it's going to be Boomer Sooner and Hook 'em Horns all day in the Cotton Bowl. First down, UCLA Bruins at the 49-yard line, and it's Wendell Tyler. The kind of a running back that makes you hold your breath when he gets the ball.
Good defensive play by Aaron Brown, the middle guard. He really moved to the point of attack and made an excellent play.
Give Tyler 3 to the Ohio State 48. And for the first time in the ball game, UCLA is in Ohio State country. Byron Cato has gone in at a defensive tackle position, replacing Eddie Beeman right now for Ohio State. Dankworth wants to throw, pulls it down, and runs it to the 44-yard line. He looked at Walker. Walker was well covered on the play as Ray Griffin had come up to get involved. Rather than risk it, pulled it down. He moved it for 4. Here's Phil again.
Okay, let's get up to date on the Pitt-Duke game. Duke scored first in that one. 9:15 to go in the quarter. Art Gore on a 4-yard run. And then Pitt came back with a 66-yard pass play from Matt Cavanaugh to Willie Taylor. So, with 49 seconds to go in the first quarter, all tied, Duke and Pittsburgh 7 apiece.
Woody Hayes on the sidelines. Football is at the 44-yard line. Third down, 3. UCLA. UCLA jumps right side. Kazarian missing the count. That'll be 5.
How could a nice, smart Armenian boy like that blow the starting count? That comes as a complete surprise to me. Come on, Kazarian.
They back him up to the 49-yard line. UCLA coming into the ball game had been flagged 29 times for penalties for a total of 275 yards. That's a lot. It'll be third down. Instead of 3rd and 3, it'll now be 3rd and 8. Ball is on the Ohio State 49. Dankworth, fumble. Ohio State gets it at midfield. On the football, Byron Cato, number 71. It was a play where the quarterback and the halfback just bumped too hard and the ball popped loose.
Looked like it just hit Wendell Tyler's hip, and Dank shook it right out of Dankworth's hands. Big break for the Buckeyes here.
At midfield, Ohio State, first down. Gerald going down the line. Pitches wide to Jeff Logan, and Burks has got him. That is 3 solo tackles for Raymond Burks in the ball game.
That was beautifully defensed. Quarterback was forced to pitch, and the secondary came up and did a beautiful job of taking the pitch man.
It was Oscar Edwards, 21, the safety, strong safety, who came up to force the play, and I suspect, Arno, we'll see that quite a bit this afternoon, where the strong safety comes up from that secondary to force it.
This is what they were talking about this morning. I think we're going to try to force Gerald to pitch that ball, hoping that they might get a fumble back.
Call it a loss of 6 and make it 2nd down and 16 for the Ohio State Buckeyes back inside their own 45. Gerald rolls, sets the throw. Stevens gets him. Frank Stevens, number 41.
Didn't have a chance. Came from the backside.
Herman Jones was on a fly going deep, but Gerald never had a shot at him because Frank Stevens, who's a 188-pound junior, was right there.
They call him Dynamite. His nickname is Dynamite, and that's what he was on that play.
The football now is back at the Ohio State 40-yard line. The Buckeyes in 2 plays have lost 10 yards. Matt Jackson is wide left for Ohio State. Jones is wide right. Gerald hands it up the middle to Logan. And there isn't, it's Johnson. And there isn't much there for Pete as he struggles along up to about the 43. And now Ohio State will have to give up the ball. And so far, Bruce Davis, playing a brand new position for him in replacing Steve Petrick, number 71 Davis, has performed quite well. Skladany is in. He will punt. And there's Terry Donahue, the head coach of UCLA at age 32. Tom will hit the ball from back around his 33-yard line with the Otis Brown, with Severn Reese and Mike Poulter deep. Skladany's kick is a very high and a very good kick. It is out of bounds down inside the 15-yard line. And so we go along here in the first quarter with no score between the Bruins and the Bucks.
Classic case of a rapid achiever. He was a walk-on football player at UCLA who eventually became a 195-pound defensive tackle. Played in the Rose Bowl in the big win over Michigan State with Gary Beeman. Less than 10 years later, at age 31, was appointed head coach at UCLA. He's had an enormously rapid rise. Keith?
As UCLA goes to work just inside the 15-yard line, ball given to Wendell Tyler, and obviously Ohio State's concerned with his presence every time he's got the ball. Aaron Brown, playing the middle guard position, number 55, made a heck of a play. Beeman slid right along with him, and it was just a bang-bang thing. Wendell Tyler, 3 carries now, 6 yards.
Good defensive support by the secondary, too. They really were coming up after Tyler.
Give him a yard, call it 2nd down 9 at the 16 as Henry comes wide to the right side. Don't really want to put it up down here, but they might. Dankworth rides it off to Theodis Brown. He's up to about the 19-yard line, running behind the offensive surge of Ekcon and Taylor. And it is Brown and Cato, the 2 men involved in the defensive play for Ohio State. You'll notice at number 84, as you see the clock running along there, 3.5 minutes roughly to go first quarter. The man who always goes to the wide side of the field, or the open side of the field for Ohio State, is Bob Brudzinski, defensive end, and he is an outstanding athlete. Henry again comes to the wide side. Mike Guest comes with him. On 3rd down and 6 from the 19. Dankworth keeps it. Gives it away. It is Wendell Tyler, and Tyler is pelted at the 26-yard line by Ray Griffin, but it's a first down. There's two classy athletes right there getting together.
They really are. You know, UCLA has started from real tough field position, and they executed the option there exceptionally well, and then playing around with that ball down in your own territory makes it kind of tough. They've started from their own 20 twice, and once from the 15, and that's tough field position.
But they have a first down now at their own 26-yard line. This time, Wally Henry goes wide to the left side or the top of the screen. That is Theodis Brown. Popping it over the right side. Ed Thompson, number 9. Buckeye linebacker just missed him at the line of scrimmage. The gain is from the 26 out to the 31. That's about 5 yards.
You notice, Keith, in this ball game here that UCLA is going to the short side of the field about 90% of the time. Ohio State is defensing the field with an extra man, and it seems as if they've come to the short side a great deal of the time. Let's watch and see if it continues.
Wendell Tyler is not finding much room to operate. Bill, what you got?
Well, the team that is, as Woody refers to, up north of here, Michigan, number 1 in the nation, is leading Wake Forest to the second quarter. The Wolverines have had 2 long drives, one of 45 yards, one of 70, and the other was the other score was a Bob Wood field goal, so it's 17-0.
UCLA Bruins are going to be tapped here for an illegal procedure call, and I'm having a little bit of trouble here with my microphone. Which one is working and what? Ball is back now at the 28-yard line. And off goes to Wendell Tyler. If he gets outside, look out. And it's a great play by the youngster Mike Guest, the freshman from Columbus, Ohio, that kept Wendell Tyler from going home.
That was a super open field tackle. Wendell Tyler was on his way.
So it brings up a punting circumstance for UCLA. And here's a look at that freshman making the play.
It was a draw play. Tyler came out. Here comes... It's really an open field tackle. It is very difficult because Tyler is a breakaway back.
Now here's the punt with Corral. Not a particularly good kick. A low line drive to Ray Griffin. Looking for the picket line on the sidelines. He's got it. Great run by Ray Griffin. And once again, Ohio State gets the ball at midfield. 38-yard punt, 22-yard return. And so with 27 seconds to go in the first quarter, we still have no score. The Big Ten Football Conference, obviously something to talk about when you start talking about attendance. Number 1 spectator sport. Last year's record attendance average of just under 60,000 per game at college football games in the Big Ten. Just short of midfield now. Here goes Jeff Logan getting to the sideline. Runs away from one tackler. And again, you almost had a man getting loose and really breaking a big play. It was Jerry Robinson, linebacker for the UCLA Bruins, who made the stop.
Robinson's had really some great games. Here he is by the fake. There was a dive by the left halfback and then a counter play. Robinson gets all the way over there. I don't know how he got there. He's got great speed.
We've got a penalty flag across the field at the point of the tackle. It looks like Ohio State will benefit from a personal foul penalty. Could be a face masking call, but it's a big one, and it moves the football down inside the UCLA 30-yard line as they're going to pace it off to the 27-yard line. What it is, personal foul. Late hit called against the UCLA Bruins. 3 flags against the Bruins, total of 25 yards. It is first down, Ohio State at the UCLA 27.
You know, I think that was one of the new plays that Woody was talking about yesterday that UCLA hadn't seen.
First down Bucks as they're in a position now to threaten as Gerald comes down the line with it. Delivers it outside, and no place for Jeff Logan to go. Brilliant coverage by Oscar Edwards, the safety man for UCLA, number 21.
Well, they're doing just exactly what they were talking about as far as defense is concerned. The end is forcing the quarterback to pitch the ball. The secondary, Edwards came up very rapidly, and they're really defensing the option.
Loss is all the way back to the 34-yard line of UCLA. The quarter is ended, and we have no score. The numbers on the first quarter in a scoreless ball game. You see the UCLA held the ball 9-17 of that first quarter. Ohio State still in the good is ended, and we have no score. The numbers on the first quarter in a scoreless ball game. You see the UCLA held the ball 9-17 of that first quarter. Ohio State still in the good field position area, though, at the UCLA 34-yard line, and Rod Gerald, the quarterback, is hit and dropped as he comes to the 30-yard line, and Frank Stevens, number 41, makes the tackle for UCLA. Ohio State has owned good field position every time they've had the ball. They started at the 32, the 50, and the 50, but so far they have not been able to take it deep enough for either the field goal or a touchdown to become a possibility.
A real tribute to the UCLA defense. They've really done an outstanding job.
Third down now and 12 yards to go. Make it a long 12 for Ohio State. The ball is just inside the UCLA 30. No score, just beginning the second quarter. It is Logan hit behind the line of scrimmage, and again there was good defensive penetration, and it came from a linebacker, Jerry Robinson, and again Oscar Edwards was right there. So it is a fourth down and 13, and here's Skladany with the kicking tee in his hand.
Well, he hasn't hit any yet. I think he's 0 for 4, 0 for 5. This may be his first.
47-yard field goal as he will hit the ball from the UCLA 37 and has to carry the 10 yards of the end zone. The snap is good out of Logan's hold. Plenty of leg. It is no good. He missed it to the left side.
Boy, that had to be close. It looked like it was good from up here, but I guess it just missed to the left.
So the Ohio State running game perhaps hampered some by the fact that Pete Johnson's playing on very sore ankles, but nonetheless, as this kind of thing develops, the UCLA defense grows more confident of their ability to hold them. Here's Jim.
This is Cornelius Green, the man who was the great Buckeye quarterback of recent years, now graduate assistant here. Your offense is not moving the ball. What's shaking?
I don't know, Jim. UCLA got a great defense, and I hope we get it going pretty soon, though.
Is Rod's confidence in his throwing up this week, or is he still having trouble?
Well, he had a sore arm all this week, but his confidence will get up. He'll be okay.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Keith?
Nothing on the right side as Theodis Brown tries to dive in there, and Kelton Densler and Ed Thompson get him. Here's a look at the field goal, give you an idea of what might have been.
Skladany got an awful lot. He got great foot into this. Well, no wonder we thought it was good from up here. That thing just misses. Difference between 3 points and zip.
That's right. Ball is still on the 20-yard line now as we come back to live action on the stadium floor. Second down 10. UCLA at their own 20. Dankworth delivers outside, and right there is Tom Roach, number 26, to knock Wendell Tyler off the playing field.
We're seeing two good defensive teams, both of them using the veer and both of them defending the outside option exceptionally well.
There is a loss of a yard plus on the play, so it'll bring up third down and about 12 for the Bruins. You can see from that particular information that UCLA has not enjoyed any good field position as yet with their offensive possession. Wendell Tyler, trying to run over the right side of the line, has no place to go as Aaron Brown slipped off the block of Mitch Kahn and got him. And so it'll bring up a kicking down for the Bruins.
UCLA didn't want to take any chances down in here. They ran a very conservative draw rather than to put it up in the air and give them great field position again. Although the last time they punted, Ohio State had a great wall set up and got back into field position again. Let's see if they do it again.
Woody Hayes watching as Ray Griffin goes deep. And Frank Corral ready to punt now for UCLA. A little bit of a win if he gets it high. Well, he knuckleballed it, but straight to Griffin at the 38. He can fly. It is James Owens, the Olympic hurdler, who runs him down at the UCLA 46-yard line. 39-yard punt and 14-yard return. Levi Armstrong wobbling around had fallen down, and there you see a lot of adhesive tape being spread around over the various and sundry people in the football team. Kelton Densler there. Pete Johnson is wrapped in tape. Kind of reminds me of Phil Gargis, a young man we saw at Auburn last week. He had the feeling when they took the tape off Gargis, he would just fall down in a heap. Second down and 10 at the 46 of UCLA for Ohio State. Gerald will throw again. Has a four-man pattern going. He's got a man. It is Greg Storer. First down, Ohio State at the UCLA 27-yard line.
Well, I guess Gerald can pass. He's thrown two good ones in the last two plays. Gerald just sprints out to his left, and they flood both the front side and back side. He turns and throws back to Storer right in the seam, right there, right on target. There's nobody there.
At the 27 of UCLA, first down, Ohio State. Bucks just missing a field goal from 47 yards, getting close again. Handoff goes to Pete Johnson, the big bully of a fullback. And Pete, sore legs and all, runs into Raymond Bell and Oscar Edwards, but he gets about 5 yards as he gets in the neighborhood of the 22-yard line.
Now, he's had a slow start, but that particular play looked like he was driving very well off that ankle.
Did. Jim Savoca comes back in at an offensive guard position for Ohio State up front. He'll team up now with Chris Ward, Mark Lang, Bill Lukens, and Lou Petrini. UCLA with a 5-man front. Defensively, Gerald gives the ball inside. Johnson again. He gets a hard hit, but in taking the hit, he pushes ahead to about the 18-yard line. Pete Paley, number 59 for UCLA in white, the first man to get to Johnson. He's going to be a yard short of his first down. Jerry Robinson has been used. He's the leading tackler for UCLA. Let's watch him work.
He's had some great games for the Bruins. Here he is, going to the right, shutting his block and putting his helmet right on the numbers.
Third down and a yard at the 18. It'll be a first down for Ohio State as Pete Johnson follows Jeff Logan into the hole, and he gets the first down at the UCLA 16-yard line.
You know, it's interesting, Keith, that we thought that the Bruins would have to keep Ohio State from possessioning the ball, and here they are. They got into this field position as a result of the kicking game and also two passes.
Right. And the big edge in the ball game so far has been within that kicking area. First down, Ohio State. Ball goes to Jeff Logan. Logan bounces off a stack and goes to about the 11-yard line. Oscar Edwards and Raymond Burks.
Just good running there. He really got the yardage on his own.
Let's call it well, it's a 4.5-yard pickup. They've got to go to the 6 to get a first down. The ball is just outside the 11. Ohio State taking their time. Joe Robinson, the tight end on the right side, number 90. Storer on the left side. Gerald gives. Logan, first and goal to go at the UCLA 4-yard line. Bruce Davis and Raymond Bell made the tackle, but now Ohio State is finding a little bit of running room inside.
Good blocking in there by Bill Lukens and Lou Petrini on the right side.
First and goal, Ohio State at the UCLA 4-yard line. UCLA's goal line defense being summoned now. Awfully hard to keep Ohio State out of the end zone. They'll come up in a full house. Full house tee, all three backs lined up. Johnson. Touchdown. Well, as I said, it is very hard to stop Ohio State when they get that close.
Well, that was well defensed, really. There was a lot of penetration, but Johnson is awful strong.
Spadani's kick nails it. 8 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the first half, and Ohio State gets on the board 7-0. This is how they did it.
You'll watch the UCLA Bruins get good penetration here. The lead blocker, Logan, gets enough of a penetration man, and then Johnson just absolutely bulls his way in here. He's going right through tacklers. Ball crosses the line, does hit the plane. Here's another view of it. You'll see here 84 comes straight across, block. Now watch Johnson run right through 2 tacklers there. Lunge out and put the ball on the goal line.
And now with Ohio State taking the lead 7-0. What else is happening, Bill?
All right, we're going to go for a live report now to Claude Felton at Athens, Georgia. Claude, tell us what's happened in your game.
Well, over from 2 yards out with only 8 seconds to play to break the scoreless deadlock and give Georgia a 7-0 halftime lead. Other than that, there's been 2 pretty good offensive football teams that have been held at bay by the defenses.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll be checking back with you for another live report. Okay, Keith.
Big one down in the Southeastern Conference. Alabama and Georgia squared off between the hedges here at Ohio Stadium in Columbus. It is UCLA once again having to start from their 20-yard line as Spadani kicked it deep into the end zone. The Buckeyes went 46 yards in 8 plays using 3 minutes and 4 seconds. So UCLA has had 4 out of 5 offensive possessions. They've had to start at the 20-yard line. Nick Bonamici has an injured foot. He's out of the defensive front now for Ohio State as Dankworth goes down the line, keeps it, gives it away to Tyler. And Wendo breaks it across the 30 out to the 31 or 2. It's Ray Griffin that ran him down. It looks like that Woody decided it would be a man-for-man circumstance when Tyler got it, so he put his best man on him, I guess, because that's the 3rd time that Ray Griffin has made the tackle on Wendell Tyler.
Did the job, too, although that was a well-executed option. Good blocking all the way across the front.
Some of the scores from the Ivy League area and Stanford Army there. You see that UCLA has its first down at the 31-yard line. Dankworth gives to Theodis Brown. A pop over the right side for about 3 out to the 34. I would think, Gara, that UCLA may have to get a little bit looser with their offense and start moving the ball around and going to the outside. They have not chosen to come to the wide side of the field very much, as you noted a while ago.
Well, the thing about it is that they've had such poor field position, and if there's any one single thing that I can point to is thus far in this game is Spadani, who has been doing a sensational job of kicking, and Corral, who has not done quite as well for UCLA.
It is 2nd down and 7 yards to go for the Bruins at their own 34. And Jeff Dankworth immediately calls time. He didn't like what he saw. And so he stepped away and called time. 7:39 to go first half. Ohio State leads UCLA 7-0.
Ball against each other 3 times for a total audience of spectators of about 250,000 people. It's an enormous payoff for the 2 schools, both of them raking in television money, gate money, a total of about $1.3 million apiece. From the Rose Bowl, the 2 games they played on national TV in Los Angeles and here. One example of how big-time college football is an enormous moneymaker for schools like this, supports a lot of the rest of their athletic program, and of course the conferences that they play in, because much of the Rose Bowl money and the television money is split among the Big Ten and Pac-8 schools. Keith?
We have an Ohio State player shaken up as Dankworth, off a broken play, salvaged it as he moved the football up to around the 36-yard line, and looks like it might be Aaron Brown, number 55, who took a solid whack as the Bruins peeled back to block for their quarterback, and he was really cut down. A Goodyear blimp, the America, out of Houston with Frank Hogan at the controls, sailing over the city of Columbus. You can see what a gorgeous day it is here. And this Monday on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers will be at Bloomington, Minnesota, against the undefeated Minnesota Vikings. A rematch of the 75 Super Bowl teams, Pittsburgh and Minnesota. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern Time over most of these ABC stations. It is Aaron Brown who comes off the field as he really absorbed the block. We'll see whether or not he can come back.
Cato actually missed Dankworth back there for about a 2 or 3 yard loss, and he came up with some positive yardage.
Ball is at the 36-yard line of UCLA. It is 3rd down, and they need 5. Ohio State leading 7-0 with 7:10 to go in the first half. Dankworth will throw it. Over the middle it goes, and the pass is complete to Homer Butler, number 82, a junior out of Los Angeles, hit by Ray Griffin. Here's Butler.
Butler releases off the line. The fake was to his side. Crosses over the middle. Ray Griffin finally catches up with him, but Dankworth, listen, this is a great catch because he has to go up after it. Watch this. He has to reach up in the air after it. Super catch, a little bit behind him. Look at Griffin come in there. Ray Griffin comes right in there and makes a beautiful picture tackle.
Oh, he is a good football player.
Yes, he is.
First down, though, for UCLA at the 47-yard line. And there is the variety of moves that can come at you off the veer formation as Dankworth, looking around, had time to cut it back inside and take it down to the Ohio State 47.
Good control of the line of scrimmage by the offensive line.
Wally Henry will go to the far side of the field or the top of the screen as you see the time running along. It is second down and 4 yards to go at the Ohio State 47. Dankworth keeps it. Now it is Tyler. It's a bad pitch. And Dankworth comes back to cover it. Back at the UCLA 48-yard line. He waited just a little too long as the leg row came up to put the pressure on him.
I'll tell you, that was a good recovery by Dankworth. Oftentimes, coming off of this surface, it's very difficult. Here's the pitch. He's a little bit late with it. It's right in his hands, though. Tyler should have had the ball. But watch Dankworth go after this ball. How easy it is for that ball to squirt out in a situation like that.
Tyler had made his turn up the field just as he was cutting. The ball was coming. They were actually quite close together. It is third down and 9 back at the UCLA 48. Dankworth sets the throw, has all day, goes over the middle, and it is intercepted by Ray. No, drop. Griffin had it and dropped it. Well, Henry was running in traffic that time. It probably was a pass that should not have been thrown. They were lucky to get away with it.
Just off of his fingertips, and it was almost a completion and then almost an interception. At least this time, if nothing happens in the punting game, UCLA should make Ohio State go a little longer way.
Ray Griffin, who has been the star of the ball game so far, will be the deep man for the Buckeyes as Corral snap is on the money. He hits a good kick this time, and it'll go into the end zone. And so the Ohio State Buckeyes, on a 52-yard punt from Frank Corral, will get the football first down at their 20, and the Buckeyes are leading the ball game 7-0 with 5:12 to go in the first half. Coming up immediately following the Prudential College scoreboard, except on the West Coast, ABC's Wide World of Sports brings you boxing. Well, Howard Cosell talking live with Ken Norton and referee Arthur McCarty from last Tuesday's heavyweight title fight, and you'll be watching live from Utica, New York, a heavyweight boxing match between Chuck Wepner and Dwayne Bobbitt. That's at 5 Pacific time over most of these stations, and we'll also have George Foreman participating in that discussion with Ken Norton and Arthur McCarty and Howard Cosell. Ken will be in New York with Howard, and George Foreman will be down in Houston. So that should be an interesting conversation on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Here we go. Ohio State, first down, 20-yard line. That's Logan. And he's out to the 26-yard line, hit by Tom Murphy, 51, and Jerry Robinson, 84. You see Pitt now in the second quarter scoring 9 points to take a 16-7 lead over Duke, Harvard, and Boston U, and the scores out of the Ivy League. Second down, 4 coming up Ohio State. Johnson, Pete Johnson, gets about a yard before he is shoved back. Raymond Bell, Oscar Edwards, Manu Tuiasosopo also there.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not they give the ball to the Big Johnson again. Short yardage. They'll probably go to that full house tee.
Kentucky and Penn State. Penn State just crippled. After the Ohio State-Penn State game, Joe Paterno literally without running backs. Matt Suey and Rich Malott, I think, were the only healthy people he had. They were defeated last week and having trouble this week. Third down, 2 yards for Ohio State. Give it to Pete Johnson. I don't think he made it.
It's going to be close. Depends where they mark it. He had to go to the 30.
short.
I'm sorry, Keith, but you know, now you can see how significant those first downs that UCLA made after they took the ball on the 20, moved out far enough where they forced Ohio State to start from the 20, held them here, even though it's fourth and just about inches. Now at least they're going to get the ball back in some reasonable, depending on that Spalding kick again, though.
Severn Reese and Mike Coulter will be the deep men for UCLA. Reese is number 1, and he's the man they like to have the ball. Time is called by Ohio State. 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the first half, and the Buckeyes lead it 7-0. We are back live now at Ohio Stadium, Ohio State University campus, as Tom Spalding comes into punt formation. UCLA sending Reese and Coulter deep. They were short for the first down by just inches. It's a very bad kick by Spalding, but it takes an Ohio State bounce. And of course, nobody in a white shirt with all those big red fellas coming down there, they're not going to fool with it. That's a 42-yard kick, including the roll. Buckeyes lucky on it, and UCLA gets the ball at the 28-yard line, first down.
Even when he doesn't hit him good, he averages 42 yards.
Absolutely gorgeous afternoon, and we couldn't be happier, because if you're going to watch a college football game, this is one of the great places in the country to come, because the stadium is always full, the quality of football is always great, and we've got two good ones going at it right now, with Ohio State holding a 7-0 lead, and here comes UCLA trying to get some points on the board. Jeff Dankworth is the quarterback. He's still got the ball, turns it up inside. He gets pretty well scissored by Bob Grudzinski and Ed Thompson. Defensive end to the open side of the field for Ohio State, and the linebacker.
Looked like he might have a little daylight in there for a while, but the Ohio State secondary and linebackers really came in there quick and shut it off with just a couple of yards.
It is at the 31-yard line, gain of 3, second down 7 coming as Patterson goes off the field, and Homer Butler is in now with Rick Walker, the tight end. And Wally Henry flanks wide to the left side, the open side of the field. 2nd and 7, Dankworth to throw, goes over the middle, pass is complete to Rick Walker, fighting for his first down. He may have it.
I'm sorry, Keith, but the Ohio State team that time anticipated the pass, and they dropped off with 5 linebackers, just a 3-man rush. So he is coming across. You see all the linebackers in there. Actually, there was just a 3-man rush, 5 underneath and 3 deep, which was a very difficult defense to throw against.
And it is good enough for the first down by the length of the football. So it is just short of the 39-yard line now. Dankworth has thrown 4 times, completed 3 for 32 yards. And Henry continues to come way wide out of the picture. The little guy who can really fly. Dankworth hands the ball to Wendell Tyler. And Tyler goes to the 40. Penetration probably across the 40 as Aaron Brown, who returns from having been cut down on a heavy block a little while ago, makes the tackle.
UCLA is fighting the clock now with about 1 minute and 47 to go. And we might see the ball in the air.
Second down, 8 yards to go, just beyond the 40 for the Bruins. You keep thinking they're going to send Henry deep. A minute and a half to go in the first half. Dankworth sets the throw. He throws short. It goes to Tyler out of the backfield. Wendell trying to get loose, wiggles around and gets it up to about the 44-yard line. Now they're going to put him back. They're going to put him back at the 42-yard line. The National Junior College Athletic Association conducts championships in 19 sports for men and 11 sports for women. The National Junior College Athletic Association invites your support for their events. And I'll tell you, some of them can be pretty exciting. The UCLA cheerleading corps having made the junket on the charter flight from Los Angeles. The team will leave immediately after the ball game and go home tonight. It is third down. At the 42, they need 7 yards. Dankworth will throw as he looks downfield, can't find anybody. Henry's open and throws it through Wally's hand. He takes a shot from Joe Allegro, but Henry was roaming around loose, and the UCLA quarterback Dankworth just simply could not deliver it to him.
He was really open on the play, but Dankworth just overshot him. He came down the line. The timing was off on the play. Dankworth got out a little farther than he wanted to. There he is standing right on the sideline, looking for the ball, yelling at Dankworth, "Throw it to me." And he just overthrows him just a shade. The difference between a first down and a punt.
And it is 44 seconds remaining on the clock as Corral is in to punt. He's netted 25.2 yards on his punting. Of course, that's because Ray Griffin's been running him back. Oh, there's a dandy.
Oh, there he goes.
That's a cannon shot into the end zone. 58 yards.
Found the handle of that one, didn't he?
At halftime today, Fireman's Fun Flashback featuring the Missouri-Ohio State highlights of last weekend. A game in which Ohio State was defeated 22-21 with just 12 seconds remaining on the clock. Incidentally, if you've wondered in passing amidst the football trivia for the weekend as to how long it's been since Ohio State lost 2 games in a row here at Ohio Stadium, it was 1971 when Michigan State and Northwestern did it to them. Alabama and Georgia in a biggie down south with Georgia leading 7-0. Irk Russell's Junkyard Dogs and Vince Dooley's offense doing pretty well against Bear Bryant's Tide. All right, it's first down, Ohio State at the 20. 36 seconds left to go in the first half, and Ohio State's going to take that 7-point lead to the locker room as Gerald just simply sits down on the ball. Well, next Saturday afternoon, we'll be at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, with the Oklahoma Sooners and the University of Texas Longhorns. We invite you to join us right after the Major League Baseball Championship playoff. Texas and Oklahoma at 3:30 Eastern Time over most of these ABC stations.
Going to go to the locker room with a 7-0 lead. Let the clock run out.
There it is. So at the end of the first half of play here at Ohio Stadium, the Ohio State Buckeyes hold a 7-0 lead over the UCLA Bruins, as Ohio State having good field position through most of that first half, and they got it as the result of the kicking game, with Skladany being able to keep the Bruins backed up with the punt. So we'll be back with the Fireman's Fun Flashback and other halftime activities after this word about an upcoming show on ABC.
You see one of the great traditions here at Ohio State. This is Script Ohio. It starts out with the bandsmen forming in this great big group on the opposite side of the field, just above the letter O. And now they start the script going to the French National Defile. It's called the Regiment, or the Regiment. And of course, this has been one of the stadium favorites back since 1936, when it was begun some 40 years ago. The band forms this revolving block O. Drum Major Doug Segrist leads out the single line of bandsmen, tracing the letters so that the formation appears to be written by a giant pen. And of course, that moment then arrives when the letter I is dotted. One of the great honors to come to any musician. This year it will be dotted by the senior sousaphone player from Perrysburg, Ohio, Todd Brooks. So let's take part in this great tradition in Ohio State and Script Ohio. A new wrinkle to Script Ohio. Isn't that something? The card section is absolutely in perfect sync with the bandsman on the field, and the card section is spelling out Ohio. This is the first time we've ever seen this happen. Very ingenious. Between the card section and the bandsman is made extremely difficult because the card section is sitting at right angles. This is in the end zone, so they're not seeing it as you're seeing the band from up above. Now you see how they have to coordinate it? I'm wondering who gets the honor of dotting the I in the card section.
crowd.
The Buckeye battle cry. Well, there were two students with the dot over there. And there is the silver and scarlet card section. What a hand they should get for this afternoon, too. And now, Carmen, Ohio. The chimes will ring. And this is the sacred alma mater of Ohio State University. Years, the National Collegiate Athletic Association has been concerned about the harmful effects that drugs have on some of the nation's youth. Many of America's outstanding student athletes have been leaders of the NCAA's Drug Education Committee's efforts to tell these youngsters that drugs and athletics do not mix. Joe Roth, one of the nation's leading quarterbacks at the University of California, and 11 other outstanding athletes gave testimony at a recent banquet in Fizzing.
I'm Joe Roth. Calling signals on a college football team means making quick decisions. Your mind has to be sharp. One decision I had no trouble making was about drugs. They can mess up your mind. And in sports, there isn't any room for something that can only make things worse. Get high on sports, not drugs.
NCAA athletes have taken a stand against drugs. Why don't you?
Don't destroy your potential with drugs. That's the advice of Joe Roth and many more America's outstanding student athletes. This preceding message was from the NCAA, the National Collegiate Athletic Association. Now, let's check in with Jim Lampley.
Coach, their kicking game has kept you in bad field position the whole half.
Well, they've just played good football, Jim, better than we have, and you have to give Ohio State credit. They've just played a little better, and we have always played well in the second half, so it's going to be interesting to see how we play this half.
You started to throw the ball a little bit toward the end of the half. You think you'll open things up a little bit?
Well, we're going to continue with our game plan. We're going to throw some, but we also plan on trying to get the ball pitched and try to run inside a little bit like we always do. I don't have any real brilliant ideas at this time, except that I think we have a good team, and I think we're capable of winning the game at this stage if we continue to play.
But field position's been the big factor, really.
Field position has hurt us. Our offensive unit has put our defensive unit in some real bad situations, and they have just had better field position, and in a tight game like this, that's the number one thing, really.
Thank you very much for spending time with us. Now let's go back up to Keith Jackson and Errol Parsegan.
All right, Jim, and I think that brief interview with Coach Terry Donahue of UCLA absolutely summed up the first half of play. As you see, the halftime statistics there.
Exactly right, Keith. Interestingly enough, Ohio State has not made one mistake. No fumbles, no penalties, and of course has forced UCLA to go the long way on every drive, and the kicking game has been significant. And when you see only 78 yards by Ohio State and only 45 rushing, then you know that this is a close, tight ball game.
That's right.
Collegiate Athletic Association has been concerned about the harmful effects that drugs have on some of the nation's youth. Many of America's outstanding student athletes have been leaders of the NCAA's Drug Education Committee's efforts to tell these youngsters that drugs and athletics do not mix. Joe Roth, one of the nation's leading quarterbacks at the University of California, and 11 other outstanding athletes gave testimony at a recent banquet in Fizzy.
I'm Joe Roth. Calling signals on a college football team means making quick decisions. Your mind has to be sharp. One decision I had no trouble making was about drugs. They can mess up your mind. And in sports, there isn't any room for something that can only make things worse. Get high on sports, not drugs.
NCAA athletes have taken a stand against drugs. Why don't you?
Don't destroy your potential with drugs. That's the advice of Joe Roth and many more America's outstanding student athletes. This preceding message was from the NCAA, the National Collegiate Athletic Association. Now, let's check in with Jim Lampley.
Coach, their kicking game has kept you in bad field position the whole half.
Well, they've just played good football, Jim, better than we have, and you have to give Ohio State credit. They've just played a little better, and we have always played well in the second half, so it's going to be interesting to see how we play this half.
You started to throw the ball a little bit toward the end of the half. You think you'll open things up a little bit?
Well, we're going to continue with our game plan. We're going to throw some, but we also plan on trying to get the ball pitched and try to run inside a little bit like we always do. I don't have any real brilliant ideas at this time, except that I think we have a good team, and I think we're capable of winning the game at this stage if we continue to play.
But field position's been the big factor, really.
Field position has hurt us. Our offensive unit has put our defensive unit in some real bad situations, and they have just had better field position, and in a tight game like this, that's the #1 thing, really.
Thank you very much for spending time with us. Now let's go back up to Keith Jackson and Arrow Parsegan.
All right, Jim, and I think that brief interview with Coach Terry Donahue of UCLA absolutely summed up the first half of play. As you see, the halftime statistics there.
Exactly right, Keith. Interestingly enough, Ohio State has not made one mistake. No fumbles, no penalties, and of course has forced UCLA to go the long way on every drive. And the kicking game has been significant. And when you see only 78 yards by Ohio State and only 45 rushing, then you know that this is a close, tight ball game.
That's right. All right, it's Matt Jackson, number 47, number 23, Ron Springs, and Jeff Logan deep as the UCLA Bruins kick off. It goes to Matt Jackson, the freshman out of Fort Valley, Georgia. He runs through a couple of tacklers back around the 12-yard line and brings the football up to about the 17. The offensive front for the Ohio State Buckeyes, Herman Jones, the wide man, Chris Ward, Jim Savoca, Mark Lang, Bill Lukens, Lou Petrini, and Greg Storer. And in the backfield for the Bucks, it'll be Rod Jarrell, Jeff Logan, Pete Johnson, and Jim Harrow. Jimmy Harrow, you haven't heard much from him yet, but he's there, and he's dependable. He's a good, solid blocker, and he's very dangerous sitting out there.
Looks like the wind shifted just a little bit, Keith, even though it hasn't been that big a factor. Shifted coming from the south now.
Ohio State, first down at the 17-yard line. The handoff goes inside to Logan. And Jeff Logan gets it up around the 20, and now we get penalty flags as we get a scuffle breaking out between the men down in the trenches. Defensively for the UCLA Bruins, this is the way they line up to start the second half. As you see the call going, off the personal foul both ways, so it'll be offsetting penalties. Pete Pele, Bruce Davis, and Manu Tuiasosopo, and you may see Tuiasosopo in that middle guard position before the day's done. Linebackers are Burks, Bell, Robinson, and Stevens. And the defensive secondary, Armstrong, Harden, Edwards, and Schmidt. Pete Johnson is out of the ball game now, and Ron Springs is in there. He's the sophomore from Williamsburg, Virginia. Came out of Coffeyville, Kansas Junior College, widely heralded. He is 6'2", 196 pounds, and they think he's going to be a dynamite football player. Rod Jarrell, another sophomore at the quarterback position for Ohio State. On second down, 6 from the 21. Jarrell turns, nobody there, now delivers the ball outside, and Springs carries for the first time, and he paid the price for it as he was really nailed on the sideline. The advance of the ball should be in the neighborhood of the 25-yard line and a little bit short of the first down by about 2 yards.
They've been successful with that little pitch there. It's a counter type thing where the left halfback flares out to his left, but they're faking the dive to the right. And then, of course, Jarrell options off the end. And they've moved the ball with that little play.
Pete Johnson is back in now as they go to a double tight end setup, needing third down and about 2.5 yards for the first down. Full house backfield. You know they're going to take it right down your throat. Give it to Johnson. He doesn't make it. UCLA reading the play well and just simply stood in there, held their ground, and held them short of the first down.
And that's the second time they've been able to stop Johnson. I don't think Johnson is right up to par, but although in that touchdown run he looked like he was okay.
As long as he can go straight ahead, he's probably going to be all right. But if he gets into a position where he has to do much cutting, you can see how tender he is as he comes off the field. But he is a horse. So it'll be 4th down and a yard to go, and Skladany is in now, and he's going to have to hit that ball back around his 16, 17-yard line. So with Coulter and Severn Reese, Mike Coulter and Reese deep for the Bruins, they should come up with the ball in pretty good field position here. Snap is a little high, but the kick is away, and again, it's a beauty. It goes to Coulter. He waves fair catch, and then the ball takes a sideways hop and goes out of bounds. So the UCLA Bruins, if you're looking for omens, they do get the ball a little bit better field position than they have had so far in the game. They get it on the 37-yard line as they'll open offensively up front with Sarpy wide, Coppinzek, Kahn, Taylor, Kazarian, and Rick Walker. And in the backfield, it'll be Dankworth, Tyler, Brown, and Henry. At least we have the feeling that Theodis Brown, who has been working with a bit of a hip pointer, he started the ball game, and he is in there. So it's Tyler and Brown, the setbacks, 22 and 27. Dankworth is 19. Dankworth gives to Tyler, and Wendell Tyler, who has been in control so far today, hits for 2 out to the 40.
You know, Beeman missed last week's game, and he's been a definite factor in there on the Tyler side. He's really stopping that dive play that they've had so much success with in previous ball games.
Looks like Bonamici is back in the lineup now to start the second half. So Nick, who had a hurt foot in the first half, coming back. As you see, the defensive front that Ohio State offers, it's a 52 defense, means they'll have 5 men down and 2 linebackers. On 2nd down and 8, Jeff Dankworth trying to get it inside, trying to slip past the tackler, but it was Tom Cousineau, number 36, who had to reach out with his arm. Cousineau hoping he'd get a clean shot at the Bruin quarterback, but he was just able to shove him off balance.
Cousineau just flows with the action of the play. Actually, Dankworth wanted to throw here at one point. This is where he reacts. Now he comes all the way across, gets an arm on him, and just trips him up right there.
Now we come up to 3rd down, and a long 6 yards to go for the Bruins. The ball is out near the 42-yard line. The defensive secondary, Roach, Guess, Allegro, and Griffin. Rule is out of the game hurt. Passing down here for the Bruins. They have all day to throw. Now Dankworth can run for it if you'll go for it, but instead he delivers the pass to Wally Henry, and Henry is just absolutely wiped out by Bob Brudzinski. Wally Henry at 5'9", 171 pounds, a senior out of San Diego. Brudzinski 6'4", 224. That's a mismatch.
He was trying to hit Butler crossing, and of course he had more than ample time, and Butler was covered.
Henry leaving the game, too.
Yes, he's actually a decoy on this. He's trying to pull a halfback out. He's open at this stage, but they're trying to hit Butler crossing. You see Butler come across in the middle, and Dankworth picked up the secondary receiver.
So Wally Henry is out now trying to shake the cobwebs out of his noggin after taking that wallop from Brudzinski. Severn Reese in to replace him. Dankworth gives the ball to Theodis Brown. And Brown on 1st down at the Ohio State 44 blows it inside the 40 to about the 38.
Good blocking at the point of attack on the right side of the UCLA offense. Kazarian and Taylor.
It's 2nd down, a short 4 or a long 3, depending on how you like it. As UCLA now beginning to move the ball here in the 3rd quarter. They have been a 3rd quarter team through the season so far. They've scored the bulk of their points, 55 points as a matter of fact, in the 3rd quarter. It is Dankworth handing to Tyler. Wendell Tyler, who is so quick, hits it to the 35-yard line. That's a yard short of the 1st down, and here's Bill Fleming.
Well, Keith, you know what they mean when they say down among the hedges in Georgia. Well, right now, Georgia is leading Alabama. And that is a 14-0 score with Rayfield Williams getting the 2nd Georgia touchdown. 14-0 for Georgia over Alabama, and they have just now started the 4th quarter.
Okay. Oh, they'll be whooping and hollering down in red play country, won't they?
Georgia's for real, I guess. Huh?
3rd down and 1. It goes to Tyler. He dives. He's hit right about the line of scrimmage. It depends on how much they'll give him. And the men in the striped shirts will have to make that decision. It was Cousineau coming from the linebacking position who met him, and it looks like they'll measure. And it looks like one of the Bucks is awfully slow getting up from the bottom of that stack.
I think they gave him the mark there. It's going to be, I think they're going to make it the way they marked it.
While they're stretching the chain, here's Jim.
Wally Henry has been on the bench getting treatment for the cobwebs that he picked up when he was hit hard a few moments ago. Wally just turned around and grinned to me and held a thumb up, so he obviously feels that he's okay and is going to be going back in.
You always feel a little better, Jim, when you've caught the ball, despite having taken the knock. It is a first down for UCLA, and let's call it the Ohio State 34.
One of the things that's happening here on this drive is Ohio State is going into more man-to-man coverage, and if Dankworth elects to throw the football, look out, it could be one for a score.
Makes it. There he is. He's got a man wide open, and he overthrows him. He had Rick Walker, the tight end, absolutely lonesome, and he just flat missed him.
He had him there.
Well, there went 6.
Ohio State was tightening up. They were trying to stop that running game. Of course, the UCLA coaches apparently saw it, came right back out on the first down situation, had him wide open, and just overthrew.
That's Billy Matthews sending him the play to the quarterback, Jeff Dankworth. Dankworth now 5 out of 8 and 48, and mumbling to himself because he missed that cinch touchdown. It's second down and 10 from the 34. Brown. Not much there. They're just simply not blowing those Ohio State defensive linemen out of there. It's Bonamici hanging in despite the sore foot with Aaron Brown and Byron Cato.
I have thought that the Ohio State team would be looking for a pass on second down and 10. Tried to change up the play and come inside, but Ohio State defense did very well. Bonamici was right in there.
It is third down and long. 3rd and 7 from the 31 of Ohio State. Sarpy is in at a wide receiver position, so they send Severn Reese to the right, Sarpy to the left. Almost have to throw it here. Dankworth's pass to Sarpy, scoops it. He's got it at the 21. Ohio State yelling and screaming on it, and it's waved off. Now it's waved off. Man on the sidelines, overruled by another official who could see the play better. Now let's have a look at it. See if we can see it.
Let's take a look and see. From up here, it looked like he might have caught it, but the official came over very determined that he had not caught it. Let's see if it hits the ground. Looks like he has it there. Now let's see what happens. Yes, we can't see. We're screened off by the official. We can't see it, but the official must have seen him drop the ball.
All right, here is Frank Corral in for a field goal try. He hits it from the 37-yard line. It's a 47-yarder, and it is good. So the Bruins finally get on the board. With 9:35 to go in the third quarter, our scoreboard reading Ohio State 7, UCLA 3. Good example of good officiating. That one official had literally the same angle at the catch that we did from our camera position. As Sarpy turned, the official then was sealed away from having a clear vision of it. The official across the way could see it better, and he overruled. So that represents, I think, in the minds of everybody, good officiating. Now here's the kickoff in a 7-3 ball game, and Corral got it, all of it, that time as he knocks it into the end zone, and Matt Jackson leaves it right there. It'll be Ohio State, first down at the 20-yard line. And here's Bill.
All right, we want to keep our viewers up to date on games going on around the nation. How about this one? Fran Kersey's Kentucky Wildcats leading Penn State 22-0 in the fourth quarter. Certainly one of the big surprises on this balmy Saturday afternoon, Keith.
Yeah, they're crippled. They're beat up. They really are. And when you run out of running backs, not much you can do about it.
Awful tough when you start losing your football team to injuries, I'll guarantee that.
Doesn't mean, though, that Fran Kersey doesn't have a pretty fair little team building down there at Lexington either, because he's coming. Right here, we've got a 7-3 ball game. Springs is in the backfield for Ohio State with Jeff Logan. Now he comes back off, and Pete Johnson will stay. Jackson is wide to the right side at the 20-yard line. Here's Gerald going down the line, delivers the ball outside, and there is good defensive pursuit. Pat Schmidt, number 88, had come out of a safety position, and he was right there when that ball was delivered, and he got a piece of Mr. Logan.
Keith, that was good football there by both teams. The execution on the part of Ohio State was good, and the defensive reaction to the play was good. And it was just good football.
It's been a very good football game, I think. Ohio State, in their 12-7 win against Penn State, did not make a single mistake in the ball game, and so far today, they have played without error. Second down and 8 at the 22-yard line for the Buckeyes. They lead 7-3 here in the third quarter. And Gerald gives the ball to Jeff Logan, and Logan draws a crowd at the 25-yard line as we have 8 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. Pele and Tuiasosopo. Watch Sosopo, number 40. Manu making a good play here.
Manu's one of their best football players, unquestionably. Here he is, number 40. Wards off the block. Slides. Look at him throw him off right there. Comes in and makes the play. As a matter of fact, Gerald had to pitch that ball quick, and I thought for a minute it might be a fumble, but he got it to the halfback, and they executed it okay.
Yeah, and you know who he's shoving around, don't you? That's Chris Ward, 278 pounds.
Wow.
Third down and a long 4. Gerald keeps it. Missed by 1. Spence stopped. Bang.
Look at those 11 players, UCLA players, right on the ball there.
Frank Stevens, 41, was the man that was the key to stopping it, as he, all 188 pounds of him, is going to come up from the bottom of that pile. And Ohio State will have to kick it.
You know, we're seeing just the opposite of what we saw in the first half. Now, Ohio State has been in poor field position, and UCLA is defense is held, and they're getting better field position.
Skladany is in for the punt as Severn Reese and Mike Coulter go deep for UCLA. And next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time over most of these ABC stations out of the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, the Longhorns of Texas and the Sooners of Oklahoma. Here's Skladany's kick. It's a good one. It's going to go to Reese. He takes it at the 28-yard line, looking for a picket line, has to cut it back up in the middle. And when you do that, generally you run out of protection. It's a 46-yard punt for Skladany. He brings the ball back to about the 34-yard line, and UCLA will put it in play from there.
Even the Heisman Trophy winner at UCLA in 1967, a teammate of UCLA coach Terry Donahue. What kind of a player was Donahue?
Well, Terry was a scrappy guy. He wasn't very big. He was the kind of guy that get buried in a tackle, and all of a sudden his little arm would sneak up and he grabbed the back by the ankle for about a 2-yard loss.
You say this Bruin defense plays a lot like he did.
Yeah, we do. They're a lot bigger than we were, but they're as quick as we were.
Okay. Gary, what are you doing now? It's been 10 years. You told me this is the closest you've been to a football field in 6 years.
Well, it has been. We're with Coldwell Banker in Chicago now. We opened an office there. We're basically a West Coast company, and we've enjoyed the Midwest tremendously. I'm not ready to renounce my California citizenship, but Chicago's been kind to us.
A lot of Heisman Trophy winners get totally out of football.
I'm totally out of it.
Yeah. Gary, thanks for visiting with us. Let's go back to Keith Jackson.
All right, Wendell Tyler was almost hurt on that play. He got up very lamely. He's suffering with a groin pull. He, on that pitch out, picked up 6 yards. But he thought for a moment he might have to leave the game. But he's got it right now, and he goes up over the top, and he is really extended. So if he does have a groin injury, I'll tell you, the last 2 plays, we're going to find out how severe it is.
He really got tattooed those last 2. There he goes out. There he goes.
Takes himself out of the ball game.
Boy, he was hit the last 2 plays.
Gerald Thomas. Gerald Thomas, number 37, a sophomore at 220 pounds out of Hanford, California, comes in to replace him. Tyler leaves with that sore leg, 16 carries and 46 yards. UCLA Bruins on 3rd down. They need a long 2 from just outside their 40. Ohio State still leading 7-3. Here's Dankworth. Dives, fumbles the ball, and they're piled up. Ohio State's done it. Joe Allegro was the man that belted him, and the ball came loose as Brzezinski covered it for the Buckeyes. Bonamici was right there, too.
Dankworth had the first down. He came down, made the fake, passed on beyond, stepped inside of the end, got the first down, but right there on that hit, the ball comes out. 22 Allegro made a good tackle and shook the ball loose.
Bruins have fumbled twice, lost it both times. Ohio State yet to cough it up. The football is marked inside the UCLA 45. 5:59 to go, third quarter. Let's see if the Buckeyes can exercise opportunity as Gerald turns and gives. And up the middle goes Pete Johnson. And he's got big yardage as he gets it to about the 36-yard line. And watch now, one of the fears of the ball game as to whether or not Bruce Davis had sufficient experience to handle that nose guard position.
Mark Lane lays a beautiful block on Davis. He takes the shoulder and he drives him right beyond the ball. Johnson veers behind that block. As you see, it puts Davis right on his back. Beautiful block by Mark Lane.
And it's an 8-yard pickup down to the 36-yard line. Second down, a short 2 for Ohio State as they're trying to jump on this opportunity. Gerald delivers to Logan. Logan trying to slip back inside. Gets enough yardage for the first down as he gets to about the UCLA 34. Tuiasosopo, number 40, featured right here in this replay.
They have every reason to feel the way they do about Tuiasosopo. Watch him wall off Ward again, get to the outside, takes on Johnson, goes to the outside and gets involved in the tackle. Look at here.
Well, Ward is 278 pounds, roughly. Johnson is 247 pounds, so Manu earned his plane ride right there, didn't he?
He sure did. He's a great football player.
At the 34-yard line, first down, Ohio State, UCLA 34. Bucks leading 7-3. Gerald just simply turns and gives it to Pete Johnson, and Johnson gets about 1 yard. And that's all. The crowd announced at 87,968. That is not a record. They missed the record crowd they had anticipated might be here. It's the third largest crowd ever to watch a college football game at Ohio Stadium.
This is a big series for the Bruins. Because of the field position, running down the clock, 4:19 in the third quarter. I think it's important to stop the Buckeyes here.
Temperatures in the middle 70s for the ball game. It's second down and 8 yards to go. Gerald, look out. He may have a first down as he falls to about the 23. Bell and Robinson finally getting him.
They changed it up that time. They came down the line what we call a true option. Rather than the fake to the halfback, they led both backs, and Gerald came down the line. Both ends came to the outside, or the end and the corner came to the outside, and Gerald stepped inside. I think he's got the first down, Keith.
Referee Gene Calhoun ordering the chains on, calls the Ohio State captain over to look at it. That's Lukens, the guard, and Lukens says first down, and it is. Call it the UCLA 23-yard line. You see that Gerald, who has been so obvious in the Ohio State attack, does not mean to say that he hasn't been obvious in this one. He's only run for a few yards, but remember the two big passes that he threw. He completed 2 of them for 33 yards, and that put him in the end zone.
We may see more of that straight down the line option.
Hand off Logan. Logan hit. Ball came loose. It may have whistled it dead. Nope. It will be the Bruins. It is Harold Harden, number 2 on the ball. And so UCLA takes over the football with 3:40 to go in the third quarter. UCLA has the football back as we look down from the Goodyear blimp, America, with our old buddy Frank Hogan flying around up there in that soft October sky. Must be really a pleasant afternoon. At the 17-yard line, first down Bruins. Ohio State leading 7-3, 3:40 to go, third quarter. Dankworth gives the ball away, and it goes to Theodis Brown, who battles it out to about the 22 before Byron Cato and Ed Thompson. Eddie Beeman, not too obvious today as he's still hurting some, and Nick Bonamici has also been hobbling around on a sore foot. In the rushing department, though, I think it is noteworthy that UCLA has run for 107, Ara Parsegian, and Ohio State for only 84.
It's been a defensive football game.
I thought we'd have more scoring.
I did, too.
It's been a knuckle buster. Here's Brown, and he's banging in there, does not get the first down as he penetrates the 25 to about the 26-yard line. He's got to go to the 27. Bill, what you got?
Well, with only a minute and 30 seconds to go, it's Georgia 21, Alabama nothing, and Georgia will remain undefeated 4 in a row. And that certainly is going to please Vince Dooley because, Keith, you remember when he made his debut 12 years ago as the head coach at Georgia, a fellow by the name of Willie Joe Namath destroyed him 31-3.
That's right. I also remember that Vince promised to shave all of the hair off of his body if the Bulldogs should win it all. His wife must be worried about it, and it's Brown. He didn't make the first down. He was really belted by Aaron Brown. Theodis slammed in there and didn't get it.
Aaron Brown made a super play on that short yardage, but they want to go for it. Let's see what Terry Donahue does.
Well, they need about a foot for the first down, fourth down, and the length of the football, roughly. Holy mackerel, that would be a considered risk.
They're demanding they want a measurement on it. They want to take a look at it, I think.
Well, they asked for the measurement, thus it is not a charged timeout. So while the chain comes on, the quarterback, Dankworth, walks over. You see him, 19, walking out of the picture there. He's looking to the sidelines. wondering what in the world he has to do to punch in there. Well, they don't even need a foot, really. They need about 6-7 inches, and there's the man to make the decision. No, sir. He said, go kick that thing out of there. I don't blame him. I think it's a good decision.
I think so, too. With 2 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the third period in a 7-3 ball game, I'd kick that thing awful fast, Keith, right now. Nope.
Well, in a ball game that's been as tough as this one, wouldn't take much of a mistake. That's Ray Griffin deep. Oh, look for it. Snap it short, and it goes to Theodis Brown, and he's got a first down. How do you do?
Right. He tricked us all. They need super play.
24 yards.
I just changed my mind on that. I think I'd go ahead and run that fullback there. Watch the direct snap. Is that Theodis Brown right there? Oh, boy, that ball was behind him. That was almost a snap that he wouldn't have fielded. That takes a little courage on the part of Terry Donahue. At 31 years old, he's shown a little of that.
He's his own man. It's just across midfield at the Ohio State 49-yard line. First down, UCLA. And it's Dankworth keeping, pitching back. It goes to Tyler on the sidelines. Window is hit down by Ray Griffin. And Ray Griffin again involved in the play.
Watch Theodis Brown field that ball over his left shoulder. This is a ball that could have gone beyond him. Watch right here. He reaches back on his left shoulder. He's got great hands. Fields the ball, gets good blocking out in front. That was a risky play, but a beautifully executed play.
He was also able to move. He was in motion when that ball was coming to him, but he was the only man moving, so it's legal. You're allowed to have one. He was moving sideways. The play goes into the middle with Tyler on second down and a yard to go at the 40-yard line, diving in for the first down as he takes it to the Buckeye 38-yard line. Now we're winding down to the end of the third quarter with 1 minute and 6 seconds to play. Ohio State leading 7-3. Bruins gamble, it pays off. There's Billy Matthews again sending signals out. That really worries me, I'll tell you. If your quarterback's kind of wobbling around out there and can't see too clearly, misses one of those little signs.
Getting the right sign, the right play at the right time.
Here comes Dankworth down the line. He turns it in. And he's at the 30 to 29. Yards short of the first down. Thompson and Brudzinski made the stop.
He put a good move on and kept the ball. Who was that, Dantzler there that missed him? Dantzler had a good crack at him there.
Go inside 30 seconds. Who knows? The Big Ten and Pac-8 meetings have become traditionals across the country in college football. You never know what these two teams might be matched up again in the Rose Bowl come New Year's Day. That's a long time from now. It is second down and a yard with 12 seconds to play third quarter. Dankworth back to throw. He delivers it out to Wendell Tyler. Tyler is really ripped, but he should have the first down as Ray Griffin comes out of the secondary and Brudzinski playing the open side of the field makes the stop.
I'd like to comment, if I may, on as a football coach. I'm sorry, I will right after the commercial.
All right. After three quarters, Ohio State 7, UCLA 3. Here we go to the fourth quarter of play at Ohio Stadium. And the third quarter statistics read this way. UCLA, as you can see, with 27 minutes and 20 seconds of controlling the ball, that's almost 10. It is 10 minutes more than Ohio State's had it. They have a first down secondary, and Brudzinski playing the open side of the field makes the stop.
I'd like to comment, if I may, on as a football coach. I'm sorry, I will right after the commercial.
All right. After three quarters, Ohio State 7, UCLA 3. Here we go to the fourth quarter of play at Ohio Stadium. And the third quarter statistics read this way. UCLA, as you can see, with 27 minutes and 20 seconds of controlling the ball, that's almost 10. It is 10 minutes more than Ohio State's had it. They have a first down right near the Ohio State 28-yard line. Jeff Dankworth keeps it. He's got, oh, my goodness, if he'd have cut left, he'd have gotten at least 4 or 5 more yards. Ed Thompson able to knock his feet out from under him as he tried to take it outside, and he's dropped at the 25-yard line.
He had real daylight ahead of him that time. That could have been a long gainer. Interestingly enough, in that third quarter, Ohio State only ran 11 offensive plays. and you don't go very far on just 11 offensive plays, which is a tribute again to that Bruin defense. They're really playing well.
Homer Butler, 82 out, and coming in at a wide receiver position, James Sarpy, number 4, going to the top of the screen with Wally Henry, who's back. And it is second down and 7. Dankworth back to throw. Throws short to Rick Walker, the big tight end. He's at the 10-yard line. First down and goal to go for UCLA. And they nail him right on the 10. Griffin got him.
Walker actually delays here. Watch him. This is what we call a delay pattern. He lets Theodis Brown check through, go on through. Then he comes right underneath here and takes the pass. It's a little delay, and he really runs with the ball after he gets it.
The nose of the football is just short of the 10, so it would be possible for them to get a first down without scoring. Dankworth now 6 out of 9, 63 yards. It is passing, Walker catching 3 for 35. Dankworth down the line. Gives to Theodis Brown, and he doesn't get a whole lot as he gets it over the 10 to about the 7. Byron Cato, 234-pound sophomore from Lorain, Ohio, and Brudzinski on the tackle.
Looked like he was in a revolving door there. He was buffeted from both sides as he ran. He's a hard runner. Still bled about 2.5 yards out of that play.
Theodis, 74 yards total now on 15 carries. Our statistician Jimmy Ritz tells us it's just inside the 8. Call it second down. Dankworth wants to throws, and it is in and off the fingers of Theodis Brown coming out of the backfield. He almost had 6.
He had a good play on. Theodis should have caught the ball for a touchdown. He had a good call on.
Wally Henry had gone down, and he had taken that deep defender with him and left Theodis Brown open. Here it is.
You'll watch here. Dankworth just fakes a sweep to the right. Theodis Brown slips inside of the end. Dankworth just drops the ball off to the third receiver coming out. Cleared out by the 2 backs right there, just off his fingertips, right there. Oh, he'd like to have that back again.
This will be the 13th play in this possession, third down from the 8-yard line. And the crowd roaring, and Jeff Dankworth will have nothing to do with it. He simply walks away. And that gets a dyspeptic mumble from the home folks.
Well, you're entitled to a discretionary timeout, and sometimes these things just increase in intensity, and you got to pre-call the play and no audibles and just go up there and run it.
They can get a first down just short of the goal line. Just short. Third down play coming up here at the Ohio State 8. Dankworth keeping it, running for the flag. He's down right at the goal line. He might possibly have a first down. They're going to mark him short of the end zone. It was Keith Eck, number 57, who pulled out of there and led him around the corner.
Boys, it's going to be awful close to a first down. It might be. It's going to be real close when they measure this one.
The ball will have to be within a foot of the goal line for them to have a first down. Looks like they're just short of that.
Looks like
let's see.
Just about maybe an inch or 2 short.
Yep. Watch the effort of Dankworth here, and the guard Eck pulling to lead him.
Dankworth set the 2 flankers to the opposite side. Let's see if he bounces or not. There. No, they marked the ball, I think, correctly. His knee was hitting back about. He stretched out as far as he could.
UCLA, with this opportunity at hand, calls time to talk it over on 4th down, trailing Ohio State 7-3.
All right, Herman, you've got some great pros on this New York Life Insurance team. Get out there and let them protect you.
That's my Bob! Don't let us down, Herman! Block out those money problems! And what are they gonna call it? Herman! You gave Bob financial security!
Where the name of the game is life, there's New York Life.
Here's 100 years of tradition coming at you.
Here comes the king. Here comes the king. Here comes the big number 1. Here comes the king. Budweiser beer, the king is second to none. When you say Bud, the king is coming. Let's hear the call. When you say Bud, you said it all. When you say Bud, you said it all.
With 13 minutes and 10 seconds to play in a football game. Ohio State trying to mass its defenses. UCLA 4th down. They need about 4 inches for the first down. The crowd of 87,000 is roaring. And Jeff Dankworth isn't fooling with it. He just walks away again.
This is what makes college football really exciting. Here it is, 4th down, and less than a yard to go. Score 7-3. Can't be more dramatic on this down.
They can move it about 4 inches and get a 1st and goal, or they can move it about 14 inches and get a touchdown.
Somebody's going to be real happy after this play.
Okay. Somebody's happy on every play, I guess. Here it is. Dankworth dives, touchdown.
Good blitz block.
Ex-Con Taylor said, come on, quarterback, follow us. And UCLA has taken the lead.
Say it again. Who are you?
All right. They'll come up now for the extra point try. Frank Corral missed 2 last week. It could be very big because you can never forget the presence of Skladany, just as you can never forget the 50-yard leg range of this man Corral. This is a very big play. A very precious point. It's good. With 13 minutes and 8 seconds to play in the football game, the UCLA Bruins now have moved to the lead over Ohio State by a score of 10-7. And here's some happiness from the UCLA folks.
You watch the offensive line move them out. Dankworth just stays in behind them. Good. As a matter of fact, they just controlled the line. I'm surprised that they were so effective on just a sneak. They really got the ball into the end zone for the start.
Tell you one thing, that 62 in there at center position is one of the better centers around this country this year.
Yeah,
he is
Mitch
a very
Kahn,
good one.
Keith Eck and Taylor, all of them did a good job.
Harvard and Boston U having at it, and Harvard holding the edge. That's intercity squabble up north. Lehigh and Yale, Cornell and Rutgers. Oh, Rutgers undefeated. Having a little trouble today. Brown and Princeton. We'll have all of the scores for you on the Prudential College scoreboard right after the ball game. All right, now we've got a kickoff by UCLA. And the kick goes into the end zone where Matt Jackson will leave it alone. It'll be Ohio State's ball. First down at the 20-yard line.
Those are the kind of kickoffs that you really appreciate what that kicking game means. Again, Ohio State will start at the 20-yard line and drive 80 yards one way or another if they expect to score.
There's a place where you used to hang your hard hat, Aaron.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you, that's a comeback.
Miami and having trouble getting on track this year, having lost, I guess, 4 times. North Carolina State, another team struggling, leading Indiana. We enjoy coming to Columbus. And Arizona trying to come back against Northwestern today. All right, let's go back to the live action on the field now with Ohio State trailing UCLA 10-7, 13:08 to play in the game. First down, Bucks at their own 20. Gerald's going to put it up, and it's incomplete.
It looks like they're going to try to put it up to get it down the field. They're behind.
Pete Pele was involved in that as he came through to put the pressure on, and he was trying to check off over there and look for that tight man coming across, but he was delayed. Maryland having trouble with Villanova. Jerry Claiborne's ball club, he might very well go 11-0 this year. The story on the UCLA scoring drive at 83, 14 yards, gobbled up 5.5 minutes of time.
Well, that was a drive, and incidentally, that punt, snap, and run was the key play in that drive.
Sure was. It took a gamble. The coach was very much involved in that one, wasn't he? Second down and 10 as Gerald drops to throw again. He's got Jackson over there and hits him. And coming across is Levi Armstrong to deck the freshman from Georgia. But he's going to have about 8 yards on the catch.
He's completed more passes today than he has all season. He's throwing the ball pretty well.
3 for 6, 41 yards. Matt Jackson hurt. He'll come out. Harrell will go in at that flanker position or wingback for Ohio State. There's Woody Hayes on the sidelines watching. He's been fairly quiet today. It's just been that kind of a football game where you better be thinking, you better be in the ball game all the time. And I don't know that Woody Hayes has ever been out of a game, really.
That's right. That's exactly right.
12:35 to go in the game. UCLA leading by 3, 10-7. Harrell is wide left. They'll play it inside, trying for the first down. following the offensive front surge of Pete Johnson, the fullback. UCLA's hanging in there trying to keep him from penetrating, but he does get the first down.
You can see that UCLA has had 56 offensive plays to Ohio State's 39, and Ohio State only had 11 in the third quarter, which reduces certainly your scoring opportunities. And then on that down there, Johnson just got that by himself. He just absolutely pushed through.
Yeah, the statistics in the ball game pretty much reverse from what you normally expect here at this ballpark. First down, Buckeyes, 31-yard line. Gerald back, throws it, batted down. Coming in is Raymond Bell, number 86, to belt it away.
It's the same play they tried on first down, only to the right side. They came back on first down, tried it on the left side.
I'll tell you one thing, Aaron, it seems to me that UCLA secondary is so quick that if you don't deliver your play right on the timing, you're going to have trouble with it.
Well, this is the second time I've seen them, Keith. I know both of us have seen them the second time. I think they're really quick, totally defensively. They can really swarm. They're like bumblebees out there. They're all over the place.
12 minutes to play in a ball game, and it's 10-7 UCLA. It's second down, 10, Ohio State at their own 31. Buckeyes shuffling around up front now as they finally wind up with Carroll wide left. And Gerald to throw. He's going deep. Carroll is back there. The pass is overthrown by a good 10 yards. Pete Pele was in to flatten Rod Gerald as he delivered the ball. Total yardage in the game so far, 233 for the Bruins and only 128 for Ohio State. And they're going to be looking at 3rd and 10. Here's Jim.
Keith, one of the reasons Ohio State lost last week was an inability to throw the ball well. They worked hard on passing in practice this week. In fact, one day Woody Hayes screamed at his team that he could do it better than they were doing, stepped in under center during practice Tuesday, took a few snaps and threw 3 passes. He completed them. As one observer pointed out, the guy under most pressure was the receiver. You wouldn't want to be on this team and drop a pass from Woody Hayes.
Oh, the defensive back who was in the zone. 3rd down and 10 from the 31. Gerald into trouble, and he gets away. Uh-oh, he's got an open field. UCLA had him sacked back at the 25-yard line, and Gerald turns disaster into a 17-yard advance and a first down for the Buckeyes. Burks and Pele had him cold, and he got away.
Gerald comes rolling out to the left behind. He turns, but he has no chance, and he escapes that run. This is why Woody Hayes has Gerald at that quarterback spot. He can run. He's quick. Turns a broken play into a real plus gainer and takes him out of what is real jail back there field position-wise and brings him to a first down at the 48.
Ohio State at the 48, first down as the sophomore from Dallas delivers under the worst kind of pressure. Gerald gives the ball to Johnson, and Pete Johnson blows it, and now suddenly the Buckeyes are steaming as Bill Lukens opened the door for Johnson. That'll be another Ohio State first down at the UCLA right at the 40.
That broken play on the part of Gerald may have ignited the Buckeyes, of course, and the Bruins might have lost the momentum a little here. Let's see what happens.
13 carries, 50 yards for slow-legged Pete Johnson. Crowd quiets respectively as Gerald asks for a little help. Logan. Well, there's not much there for Jeff. Tuiasosopo, number 40, and Robinson, 84.
Here's Tuiasosopo. We've seen him how many times? There's Ward just being absolutely shed. Look at him reverse pivot in there. One of the things that's hard to teach linemen. I'll tell you, he's one of the great ones I've seen in a long time. Those are picture defensive moves.
He may have trouble making All-American, even though he certainly appears to be everything that an All-American should be, but he might have trouble because nobody can spell his name.
That's about right.
At the 41-yard line, second down and 10. It's out near the 41. Gerald coming down the line, cuts it up the middle. And he's at the 36 for about 5. Robinson and Stevens, the tackle for UCLA. Gerald has run for 33 yards now, but remember, one of them was that big play when it looked like UCLA had it flat of his back. He ran right out of the tackle. He went for 17 yards and the first down.
picked
And it's now 3rd and 5, just short of the 35 of UCLA.
The 5 yards he got there were pretty much on his own.
Matt Jackson and Herman Jones are wide right for Ohio State on 3rd down. Give it up the middle to Logan. Jeff Logan is gone. Armstrong. And he is finally thrown out of bounds by Johnny Lynn, number 23. 20 yards on the carry. And again, it was Bill Lukens who opened the door.
That was a quick reverse pivot on the part of Gerald, and it's a play that has not come out of there during the course of the afternoon. But watch that opening. A quick reverse pivot, and he splits the middle guard and the left tackle. A missed tackle right here by Schmitz, I believe. Or Schmidt. And finally is run out of bounds at about the 15-yard line.
Where it's first down, Ohio State. The Bucks are blazing hot right now as Gerald turns it. And he's inside the 10 to the 8-yard line before Robinson and Schmidt can make the tackle. So Ohio State just literally exploding following that effort by Gerald.
That big scramble play on that passing down really seems to have changed the whole momentum around in this drive.
The Bruins had been dominant until suddenly the quarterback scrambled, and now Ohio State is threatening to take the lead away from the Bruins. It's a 10-7 ball game. UCLA with 9 minutes to play in the game. Ball is just inside the UCLA 9-yard line. They can get a first down at the 5. It is 2nd down and 3.5. Pete Johnson hit hard right at the line of scrimmage by Oscar Edwards, the strong safety who had penetrated. But he's going to get a yard or so out of it anyway.
Ohio State came to the 2 tight ends, full house backfield, and Edwards came up on the line and fired from the outside. Stopped Johnson.
The football is sitting at the 7. Coming up, the 13th play in this possession for Ohio State. 3rd down, 2 for the first down at the UCLA 7. 8-man front for UCLA. Gerald keeps it. Hit behind the line of scrimmage. Back around the 8-yard line. A swarming defense of the Bruins. So it brings up a 4th down.
Super penetration on the part of the defense. It'll be interesting to see here. It's 4th down. There's plenty of time on the clock. There's 7:56. They're going to go for the field goal to get... yeah, I think this is the right thing to do. You've got well over 7.5 minutes. You can tie the ball game up, and a field goal could still win it with a guy like Spaldani. Let's see if he can get it between the uprights. Or they come up maybe with a little trickier. Who knows?
Could be. It'll be from the 15, a total of 25 yards on the kick. And Jeff Logan will be the holder. Timing very critical here. Low snap, handled all right. Kick is up. Crowd says it's good, and so does the referee, Gene Calhoun. All right. And so, with 7 minutes and 21 seconds to play in this football game, we're all even at 10-10. Back to the live action, Ohio Stadium, 10-10 tie. 7:21 to go in a ball game. Spladany kicks it off for Ohio State. Shanks it off the right side of his foot out of bounds, and the UCLA will get a 5-yard break on it as he comes back to kick it again.
And maybe field position change. You got to move back 5 yards, which might give UCLA an opportunity for a return and give them a little better field position.
Come on, Dad.
A little error there can be costly.
The membership of the National Federation of State High School Associations, coordinating interscholastic activities for about 20,000 high schools, ranging from football through forensics, basketball to band, millions of young people enjoying the programs. National Federation invites your support for this total interscholastic program in your community. All right, Theodis Brown and Wally Henry are the deep men for UCLA. Been a good football game here in Ohio State this afternoon.
Wally Henry shading his eyes. He's looking right into the sun, apparently. That could be a factor as we watch.
Here's Spladany now from the 35. Another knuckleball. Henry hit the line. Nope, stayed inbound. He almost went out of bounds as he fielded the ball on the sidelines, gets it back to about the 22 before he is brought down by Ricardo Valle, number 18. Here's Bill.
All right, Keith, next week, of course, it'll be the Oklahoma-Texas game, but look at this. Oklahoma and Iowa State are all tied up, 10-10, as Dexter Green has just scored for Iowa State. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter in that one, and we'll keep you up to date.
Oklahoma's never had it very easy down at Ames, and that's where they're playing it today. Of course, Iowa State came in as one of the leading scoring teams in the country. At the 21-yard line, first down, UCLA. It is Theodis Brown breaking it to about the 29-yard line. It was just simply a slant, and there was a hole for him to come driving through. And there's all the thinking and the planning and all of the talk on the sidelines. That's a defensive situation right there, as Dick Tomey, the defensive coordinator, is talking to his defenders about what they need to do next time Ohio State gets the ball.
On that play,
28 now.
Theodis Brown was able to run behind Aaron Brown, the middle guard.
It goes to Wendell Tyler, and Tyler, flashing over the left side, gets across the 30 to the 32. That should be a UCLA first down, as Bonamici and Beeman brought him down. I'll tell you this, if either Beeman or Bonamici get into a circumstance of pursuit, though, they're not going to be very effective because both of them quite lame. But in the trenches, they can still handle themselves.
This is a big first down on the part of UCLA because if the score 10-10 with 6.5 minutes left to go in the ball game or just under it, any kind of error down here could be disastrous because it'd be field goal territory. But they punched out to the 32, which was really helpful.
On first down, Bankworth gives the ball to Theodis. He's across the 35. Has the same play that he went for 8 on a moment ago. Aaron Brown, number 55, is down on the field, hurting. Brown with 17 carries now. Theodis and 84 yards. And this Monday, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football from Minnesota offers a rematch from the Super Bowl. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings at 9 Eastern Time over most of these ABC stations. So Aaron Brown looks like he's going to have to come off the field, and now they're fooling around with a leg. And boy, you hate to see that.
It looks like it might be a knee from up here. It's hard to tell, but he's not kind of his reaction pain-wise. Watch Aaron right here. The center is firing out on him. Aaron Brown's number 55. Block is put on. Turns him to the outside, and you see the left guard. He falls over the left guard, and his right knee is caught. And I'm sure it is his right knee. You can see it. He falls over the left guard. Here it comes back again. Left guard is coming from the left side. The center is setting him up. Right there. 57 Eck comes in. You'll see his leg right there, his right knee. I'm sure that it's the...
and he's hurt. There's no question about it. He's dragging that leg as he comes off the field. And when you lose a player the quality of Aaron Brown, you will feel it next week and in the weeks to come if he should be lost for the rest of the season.
Right. That's... It could make a difference even in this ball game with 6 minutes left.
All right. They whistle the clock to roll with 5:59 now and running. The football is sitting at the 35-yard line of UCLA. It is second down and 7. Handoff is over the right side. Not much there for Theodis Brown, number 27, as Byron Cato, Mark Sullivan, 72, and Bonamici, 75, are involved in the play. That means Cato probably goes into the middle guard position, except they had gapped the defense that time.
That's right. Bonamici really closed down fast that time on Brown.
Billy Matthews giving the sign for the next play, and it's a big one, 3rd down and 5 from the 37.
Well, might be the draw. They've run that on 3rd down plays. Let's see what they do.
Cato is that middle guard as again Ohio State goes to the gap. They'll put it up. Dankworth throws it short to Walker. And it's a first down for the Bruins. That's a play that's worked all day for them. It's out to the 47-yard line, first down.
That's the same play that we saw down on the try for the touchdown. Watch Walker set up like it's going to be a pass. Then he fakes the block here, delays, and then breaks right underneath the zone coverage and gets right into a seam for a first down. It's a tough play to cover against zone coverage.
Watch that number 84 for Ohio State, Brudzinski, dropping back from his defensive end position to make the play. First down, Bruins. It goes this time to Tyler. And Griffin is right there. It seems like everywhere Wendell's gone today, Ray has been there.
He's been there, I'll guarantee you. Not only that, Ohio State has changed their defense a little bit on that drive. They went into man coverage, brought up an 8-man front, and again, it lends itself to passing, but I don't know whether the Bruins are going to do it.
4:20 to go in the game. 4:20. UCLA at their 49-yard line. Second down, 9. Score is even at 10-10. Dankworth on second down. Throw short. Ball's dropped. Pass thrown right on the numbers of Don Pedersen, and the junior from Pleasant Hill, California, dropped it.
Exactly the same play to the other side. Slow blocks, what we call a slow block and delay, and let the defense soften and go back to coverage, and then come underneath that coverage. He had the ball right in his hands, dropped it, and of course it's third down now and 9.
Dankworth 7 out of 12, and certainly that wasn't his fault for 74 yards.
Right in his hands.
Dankworth has not really been pressured much today when he's gone to pass. He'll put it up again. Ohio State getting some pressure this time. The pass is thrown to Theodis Brown. He's trying to get to the sidelines. He is belted out down around the Ohio State 43. He's going to be about a yard short of the first down. Oh, here come another big play. My goodness, it's going to bring up fourth down and short yardage. As Theodis was trying to angle to the sidelines to get everything he could out of it. So they're looking at the chains, and they'll bring them all the way across the field, and here's Jim.
That Ohio State defensive line, already hobbled by injuries to Eddie Beeman and Nick Bonamici, who are playing with them. It's now lost middle guard Aaron Brown. He's out for the rest of the game with an ankle sprain.
Can't say from here just exactly how much they've got to go.
Can't see it from here.
Not a whole lot, though. Can't be more than a yard, I don't think. And the indication is from Dankworth, it's just a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see what...
Looks about a little less than a yard. Wally Henry holding his hands up, but Wally's only 5'8", so you have to put that in perspective.
Looks like he's going to punt the ball.
Is he going to go for a field goal?
I think that's too...
Corral's got a kicking tee in his hand, I think, as he comes out. It's going to be an awful long one.
It's going to be 60 yards. Now he's going to punt it.
Now he's going to punt it.
I don't think he'll go to the well again, Brown, do you?
Well, all he needs is a little knuckleball down in the corner. You just want to dump it down here and let it bounce around.
What I think he wants to do, I think they have their timeouts left. Let's see if he puts it.
Oh, he just knocked it in the end zone.
Knocked it in the end zone, yeah. Oh, boy. No.
Well, Ohio State gets the ball. 10-10 tie at their 20, first down. Well, as a result of Frank Corral hitting the ball into the end zone, Ohio State gets it out at the 20-yard line, first down. I thought sure as the world he'd try to knuckleball it down there, but he didn't.
I don't think Terry Donahue's too happy with that. I think he wanted to pin Ohio State down inside that 10-yard line if he could, and it didn't come off.
Now the pressure's on the UCLA defense to try to hold him, and Jeff Logan coming out of there had some room to run till he ran into the man in the striped shirt. He actually ran into an official. It slowed him up enough for the Bruin defense to react and get him after two.
That's the umpire who reads the offensive blocking and calls those holding penalties, was in the way on that, in Jeff Logan's way. Watch him come right inside here. Logan's got some daylight here. Looks like he's going to break the outside. Of course, actually, the defensive halfback pushes Strocia, the umpire, right into Logan. I can't see who that is.
16 carries and 56 yards for Jeff Logan so far in the ball game, but he is double poisoned too when he gets a little daylight.
Game's tough enough with all those, without those obstacles.
Second down, 8 from the 22. Gerald coming around the corner. Look out! He really got tattooed a couple of times, but he absorbed it and made it work for a gain to about the 32 and a first down. Burt Robinson making the tackle.
Good running on the part of Gerald.
And we've got a white shirt down on the field. It is Jerry Robinson, the linebacker, sophomore out of Santa Rosa, California. He's shaken up on that last play. Remember the Prudential College scoreboard with Dave Dials and Warner Wolf. Scores around the country. Some surprises working today. We'll have it for you right after the ball game over many of these ABC stations. Ducky Drake, the trainer of UCLA, out on the field, working over Jerry Robinson. He was an offensive split end as he started his career, but he moved to that inside linebacker position this year, and he has an enormous number of tackles to his credit already. Very active football player and a very good athlete.
He sure is. He's demonstrated that in the first ball game that we watched him. He played an outstanding game, and here he is again today with some great play.
6 solo tackles and 14 assists in the ball game, and he was really shaken on that last play. We have left to play in the game 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Ohio State 10 and UCLA 10, and the Buckeyes have the football first down at the 32-yard line.
And timeout-wise, Ohio State has 2 timeouts, and UCLA has 3, and that could become a very significant factor as the game winds down.
Jerry Robinson is on his feet now and walking off the field. Look like he's arguing. He wants to stay in the contest, but they'll have none of that. They'll take him out for a little while. Now he breaks into a jog, so it looks like he's all right.
Looks like he's all right.
Jerry Klein doing our research and our spotting for us today. Jimmy Ritz, our statistician. And here we go with a very big series right here as Ohio State now with some operating room at the 32. And only 3 minutes to play in the game. 5-man front for UCLA. Ball goes to Logan. Logan gets a couple of yards, no more, as the Bruins swarm. Davis, number 71, and Tuiasosopo, number 40 there. Also Tom Murphy, who's come into linebacking position, number 51.
They closed in a hurry that time. I'm talking about the Bruins defense. I'm impressed with their quickness. And Ohio State's had their problems moving the football with any consistency against them also.
Second down. Call it 8 at the 34. Gerald still got it. Rod Gerald is trying to win this football game single-handedly for Ohio State as Bill Lukens has given him a whole lot of help in sliding him through the line. 13 yards and an Ohio State first down.
He's been the key factor in these last 2 drives. He may not be able to throw as well as they would like, but he sure can run.
Sure can. 13 carries and 61 yards for the sophomore out of Dallas. .52 defense for UCLA. The ball is given in the middle. It goes to Logan. And Logan is pummeled down after about 2 yards on the play. Ohio State getting the first down at their 47-yard line. The gain is to about the 49. Looks to me like the centers are shuffling in. No, it is Savoca and Ayers, the guards on the left side, are bringing in plays apparently from the bench now, and it's Donahue on the sideline. Terry.
I wonder if they'll put it up here. Second down and 8.
Kind of helpless unless that defense can stop them. Second down and 8 yards to go. They'll give it inside to Logan again. And now the offensive front of Ohio State. Again, literally blowing the UCLA defenders back on their heels as that play goes to the 48-yard line of UCLA. Now it brings up a 3rd and 4.
I'm surprised one of the 2 teams doesn't take a timeout. We're running with a 1 minute now and the clock running.
Robinson is back in the ball game. Ohio State trying to get it down to give Skladany a chance to win the ball game with now 50 seconds to play. 50 seconds. Gerald coming down the line. He is caught and he is dropped, and it is Jerry Robinson and Manu Tuiasosopo who belt him down. And Gerald having a little trouble getting upright. Now time is called by Ohio State with 35 seconds to play in the ball game. And the reason we haven't talked a whole lot about the offensive and defensive players of the game, we've been sort of waiting to see what happened.
Here's Tuiasosopo again. Boy neutralized the block. There's Ward fighting him again. he's some kind of football player.
Only 35 seconds left. We have 35 seconds to play in the football game. Ohio State, 4th down. They need 4 yards. Skladany is in punt formation. I don't believe he's going to kick it. I just don't believe it. By gosh, he did.
How you got to believe it?
Severn Reese lets it go. The ball takes a sidewise bounce. It's an Ohio State bounce all the way. UCLA, with 24 seconds to play in the football game, will get it on their own 7-yard line as Skladany knocked it right down in there. and the crowd is booing that call.
You know,
Coach, you know something about that 10-10 tie.
I sure do, and I'll tell you this, you don't want to make a mistake. Any kind of error back here on the part of Ohio State could have allowed UCLA to be in field goal position. Now, any kind of error on the part of UCLA here in the next 24 seconds, even though Ohio State only has one timeout, could be significant. Now, how would you like to be Terry Donahue now, worrying about what